stall in the left lane before Highway 36 and I-270. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, more scattered thunderstorms today, high 86, overnight low of 60 degrees. We're seeing rain every day this week, tomorrow high 91. The current temperature in Denver is 73 degrees. With your impact traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
I'm Ben Ferguson.
And I'm Ted Cruz. This week we're live in Milwaukee. We'll break down the Trump assassination attempt, the president's heroic response, the VP choice, and everything else at the convention.
Download Verdict with Ted Cruz now wherever you get your podcasts.
630 KHOW, an iHeartRadio station.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One.
Coming back to Las Vegas, September 20th and 21st. Streaming live only on Hulu.
A weekend full of superstar performances.
Tickets are on sale now at AXS.com. That's AXS.com.
The Hartford Small Business Insurance knows opening a small business is a great achievement. They offer custom insurance solutions to fit your needs. Get a quote and find why over 1 million small business owners trust them at thehartford.com/small business.
Attention all you summer fitness fanatics. Tired of sweating it out in the gym lifting weights? Give your Second Amendment a workout instead. Come to Triple J Armory, where we've got all the gear you need to flex those freedom muscles. At Triple J Armory, we believe in exercising your right to bare arms. Why lift dumbbells when you can lift a shotgun?
This is way better than leg day.
Ditch the gym and come to Triple J Armory, where the only thing sweating over is giving you the best service and selection around. Open 7 days a week with locations in Colorado Springs and Littleton.
Plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, and drains. Think Plumline Services. With quality brands like Carrier and always plumb crazy value. I use Plumline in my home. On a mission of excellence with character and ethics. Clear drains, fix leaks, wiring, and quality Carrier systems. Plumline Services. From Castle Rock to Fort Collins. Service at home. Servants at heart. 25 years strong. PlumlineServices.com. Plumline and Carrier. Turn to the experts.
Need a new roof? Call Excel Roofing, 303-761-6400.
Denver's talk station has your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Money. That's money. Enter it now at KHOW.com. Inflation Salvation on 630 KHOW.
Yeah. Ripped off. Bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hey, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255 is the number. And I got to stress, you can call 303-MARTINO at any time, because what we like to do is get your calls, and even after hours. And if you call 303-627-8466, which is 303-MARTINO, it goes to our voicemail if we're not around, but we will call back each and every person, and you don't have to stay on hold. And we are here, as always, to solve problems, answer questions, take complaints, and make your life a little easier, as we've been doing for 45 years, recovering hundreds of millions of dollars. Now, listen, I want to go to the calls. Of course, calls always get priority. We have a follow-up with Kelly, but I also want to say I did something that I don't think truly anyone in the media or in politics has actually done. I know Biden hasn't, and I know not one person on CNN or Fox did it. I did something very unusual. I actually read something before commenting on it. I read it from cover to cover. I read every single page. And I have some interesting thoughts on it, I think. Now, again, I'm not going to give my opinions on this, because I've always thought this, and I mean that. I mean, I might give an opinion, but what I mean is I'm not going to try to sway opinions. I've always thought this before. I think people in the media think they have too much, and in celebrity, the celebrity world, they all think people give a damn what they think. People don't. You're not going to change minds, okay? Really. I don't care what Robert De Niro thinks. I don't care what anyone thinks. All I care about are the facts, and I want to make up my own mind. I want to think for myself. I am so tired of the elitism of people believing that they know better and can make your decisions and you should follow them. So I don't try to do that crap. But I did read Project 2025, cover to cover, every single word. I want to know how many people have. Every single word. All I did was download it. It's not a big secret. And I read it cover to cover. Has anyone, raise your hand. Anyone do it? I know a lot of people are commenting on it. Now, here's what I'm going to do for you. If you wonder what project, or it's a mandate for leadership. It's called Project 2025. Mandate for leadership, the conservative promise. And as you'd imagine, there are a lot of conservative promises. And I'm not going to go, page by page. But what I am going to do is answer questions. If you have them, since I have it here, and I have it in a document we can search, you can give me a key word, and I'll tell you what it says.
Racist. There's your key word. Racist. Is that in there?
Okay.
Because that's what all the pundits are saying. It's extremely racist.
Okay. The first word that comes up, it says bureaucrats of the Department of Education inject racist, anti-American, anti-historical propaganda into American classrooms. That's one thing it says.
I agree with that.
It says
100%, Mark.
The former, and then it says also systematic racism. It talks about systematic racism is not a thing. Okay, basically that it's not built into the system. However, improvements can be made, and that critical race theory gives people excuses. Basically, I'm summarizing, and critical race theory is not something to inculcate into the minds of the very young, because they can come up and not think automatically they're going to be set back, and that gives them a better outlook without looking at everyone as racist. And it says that critical race theory basically starts out that everyone is a racist, and then you have to prove you're not. Also, the Secretary of Education should insist that the department serve parents and American ideals and not advocates whose message is that children can choose their own sex, that America is systematically racist, and that math is racist, or that anything in and of itself can be racist. I mean, it just basically says a lot of. I'm giving you just a highlight here.
It says it's basically against indoctrination, like I talked about yesterday.
And then it says America. It says we must defend the false idea that America is systematically racist. The theory is disrupting the values and actually dividing people instead of uniting them. And again, there might be black people. I can't speak to this. I mean, I can't speak to it. But there are blacks listening to me every day. I mean, they call the show, and we have a great time discussing everything. So here's the deal. People say, Tom, do you see color? I say, absolutely I do. And I love every color. I see color. I notice differences. I love the differences. I love that people have different cultures. I love kids who grew up in Italian households, kids who grew up in Irish households, people who grew up in all kinds of households. I love it. I love the cultures, the Jewish culture. I love it all. And what I'm saying is this. Is there hate there? No. You can see it without hating it. But what is this? I'm not black. I can't say that right now. Well, I can, in my perspective. I don't see large-scale racism. But is there? I mean, right now, is there? If you're black, do you feel that we still have a system that is systematically racist?
But you know what, Tom? You know when we'll get over that? When
you're not black. I'm asking a black.
No. When you get to the point where people don't say he or she is the first black this or the first black that, that really gets under my skin.
Well, anyway, so Mark, you asked about the word, and we're going on. I got you, Doc. I heard you. Now, the other one is reversal of racist equity. They feel that it's going too far the other way, and it actually becomes racist against others. And the casual acceptance and the rapid spread of racist policy making, which believes the federal government must correct the racist policies of America. Another one, and again, I'm just keyword searching. It says the Biden administration and the government believes that America is racist and uses it to divide people instead of uniting people, and they keep promoting this theory. And anyway, so you asked about that word. Yeah, the word is in there. That's very interesting that you picked that word, Mark. But is this policy racist? I don't
from
read
people
anything.
that I've heard.
Yeah,
people I've heard from that are against it, and I haven't read it like you. So honestly, I know nothing about it.
Yeah.
This is the first I've heard anything about it. Besides, Trump is for it, which is bad, and it's going to bring our country back to the 1800s.
And
I don't know where that comes from reading that document.
Okay, well, from reading the document, what I can tell you is this. It is far more extreme than any Republican I've heard talk. When I say extreme, I'm not talking bad or good. I'm not giving you my opinion on how I feel about this. Some of these things,
give me an idea of something you would call extreme. What's something extreme?
Some of these things I like, and some of these things I don't like. Okay, they do believe that the federal policy nationwide should be against abortion. Okay, now when I say extreme, I'm not giving you.
That's radical. No. That's radical as hell, I believe.
I'm not saying. Now, because of that, this is bad. We shouldn't do it. Nor am I saying we shouldn't have a policy of life first. What I'm saying is this document, it looks like, from I'm reading, would go for policies that would ban abortion. And I have to be honest about that. There are many parts of, and I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm saying it does. This document, if you read it and don't have any outside influence or opinions, and actually read it, it probably you would come away with the idea that they would encourage their leaders to ban abortion nationally.
Which honestly I think is anti-Republican, and I'll tell you why. Because I believe it's right where it's supposed to be now, in the states' rights, which is us, the people's rights, and that's where it should stay.
Now,
if you live in a state and everybody votes, that's the way it goes.
It does not call for a nationwide ban of abortions. It says to support leaders and to promote a life agenda where, and it just has other wording. But you could make the conclusion that they want the federal government to take a stance against it, especially...
Well, now I'm a little upset. Now I found you a little misleading. You made it sound like they wanted to ban it.
No,
if they just want an agenda that promotes life...
What I said was, no, it's a little more than that. And they do say they're against abortion, but they don't come right out and say that they support a nationwide ban or a law against it. I am saying if you read it, you get the impression that that's not far away, that they could.
What else did you read that people might consider extreme on the left?
Okay.
Tom, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Who produced this document? I never
Project 2025.
Yeah, but who?
Oh my God! It's a number of conservative organizations.
Heritage Foundation.
That was the primary.
Okay.
But then there are like 100 authors, or contributors.
And you know what? Trump's actually separated himself from this. And when it comes to Trump and the abortion rights, he's changed his stance. Remember, at one point, this guy, before he was president, back in the day, he was all about women's rights, and he became a Republican and changed it. And I think a lot of people could say he changed his vision because of what party he was running for. But now he's back to pretty much what I would consider middle-of-the-road thinking on it.
Okay, I want to talk to Don. Don, go ahead. What's going on, Don?
Hi, Tom. I was just going to speak to the same thing that everybody else is speaking to. This Project 2025 is not Trump's. It's the Heritage Foundation.
Right, that's right.
It's a false positive to put this out on the radio and go through Project 2025 and talk about Trump, because the average listener is not going to know that, and they're going to associate Project 2025 with Trump. That would be like...
Don, I just said that. I literally just said that.
I know. I said I was just going to say what you guys were just talking about, and it would be like me putting something on about the Tom Martino show that has nothing to do with Tom Martino's opinions. There may be some parallels to it. Tom, you wouldn't like that. You would be saying this is
No, I understand that, but I didn't think it was my place. When I said I read it, I'm not. I guess I am giving an opinion when I call that extreme. So that is an opinion, right? But there are things here. When it comes to, let's put it this way.
You're also talking about it in front of thousands, tens of thousands of people in an election year, and it's associating it with a candidate that has no association with it.
No, and it doesn't say that. It says we must call on leaders. We must call on leaders to do this and do that. Support at all costs a pro-life agenda. And then it also says, okay, let me just summarize one thing, okay? When it comes to climate change, they absolutely, positively believe there should be not one penny spent nor one effort made for climate change, and that we do not have an appreciable effect on it.
But, Tom, if I came up with Don McDonald's Project 2026, and I had all kinds of things in there, and I started talking about Tom Martino and talking about my Project 2026, there's no parallel. It's a false parallel.
Don, I'm not making a parallel. Don, I'm not. Oh, I'll tell you why a parallel is made, and it shouldn't be foreign to us. Here's why the parallel is made. They call this a conservative promise, and then other people call themselves conservatives. So people say to themselves, okay, if that person is conservative and if this is a conservative promise, they must be related, just like we do when it comes to progressive stuff. If someone calls themselves progressive and we read what so-called progressive agenda is, we make the connection. I'm not saying there is a connection. I'm not saying some people believe it. I'm not saying some people don't believe it. I am saying that's why the connection is made. Whether it's accurate or not.
The connection, I disagree. I think the connection's
What do you
made
disagree
because
with?
every lefty station out there is the one that's trying to tie Trump to it. It's got nothing to do with being conservative. It's MSNBC. It's CNN.
No, Mark,
they directly say,
I get
those
that.
are his past people.
But he asked why there are parallels made, and I'm saying the reason is because they identify themselves as strictly conservative and anti-progressive. And that is what a lot of Republicans do. I am not saying that Trump is related to this, but you can't entirely say it's illogical to make a connection, just like conservatives make a connection to all progressive ideas. That's all I'm saying. Whether it's accurate or not I imagine there are many Republicans who think this is bunk, and there are many who think it's wonderful, and there are many who think some of it's good and some of it's not. I am simply speaking in reality.
And I understand you're doing that, but I agree with Don.
Life can overwhelm us in many ways, but there's an easy-to-remember number to call for emotional support. The 988 Colorado Mental Health Line is available for free, immediate, human support 24/7. Every conversation is confidential. Share as much or as little as you like. Call or text 988 or live chat with a trained specialist at 988colorado.com. There's no reason too small to reach out.
Hey, Mark Szymanski is with Genesis Total Exteriors, who I've been representing for many years. And let's talk about what he does. He does everything on the outside of your house. And right now, because the weather's so good, his schedule is filling up. And there gets a time, not only with insurance claims, but there becomes a time with weather and stuff, you can't get stuff done. So what are you recommending, Mark? Hold on. Well, let me bring him up here. Oh, there you go, Mark. I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir.
No worries. Hey, Tom, now's the time to give us a call, because what most people end up doing is all of a sudden they get the kids back to school, and next thing you know, we need to get some things done in our house, and there's a big panic rush in the fall. I tell you, now's the time to schedule. You know, we have availability on our schedule right now, and now is a great time to call us, and anything that you need done on the outside of your house, whether it's roofing, siding, windows, fencing, decks, we're ready and willing to come help you out and take care of things like that.
And not only that, but you can help with the insurance claims all on one invoice, right? And it's an ease of dealing with one source.
You bet. In fact, in-house, we have our own person that's an expert Xactimate. So when you have an insurance claim, insurance companies aren't treating you fair, we're able to deal with the insurance companies in-house with a person right at our front desk here.
And specifically when we're talking about siding, when you do an insurance claim, people may not understand, but they can do upgrades from what they had. So you can go from siding to stucco for a small upcharge, but it's way cheaper doing it now than if you just wanted to convert some other time.
That's correct, Tom. I mean, there's always things to upgrade. You could go to stucco. You can go to a siding that will last you the rest of your life, and you'll never have to paint again. There's all kinds of things that, surprisingly, if we're going to replace windows or siding, for a small upcharge, you can get a far superior product.
Yeah, GenesisTotalExteriors.com, 303-679-8509. Okay, what about real estate? Gosh, it used to be we bought a house for our lifetime, maybe two on the outside. Now people buy homes every 3 to 5 years. My God. Also, people have all kinds of real estate hassles and problems and conflicts. That's why we love having O'Brien Legal Services on the team, olslaw.com, anything real estate. If you need an attorney, give them a call for a consultation, 720-370-7388, olslaw.com.
The doctor's office that mixed up your files has your Social Security number. The power company.
All right, have a wonderful day. Bye.
For fucking weeks,
The Troubleshooter Show, brought to you by Buc-ee's.
Not one. I fucking read it.
I didn't even read it. I mean, I didn't know what it was. All I'm saying was I gave an opinion, and you're right, it's your show. But
No, I didn't say it was my show. I said it's not boring. I didn't say it was my show.
No,
you said
did.
it's not what the show about, and I said, who defines what the show's
Right,
about?
right.
I never said it's my show. I
No,
don't do that shit.
I thought that I was just giving an opinion.
Hey, Tommy.
Off the air.
Someone tap him on the
No,
shoulder
I
for
don't
me.
care. I mean, I think that when
Doesn't
you
have his
discuss
headphones
this
on.
thing. Okay, sorry. You wanted me to go offline, right? Okay, sorry, Mark. Yeah. So, Yes.
Did you hear? Listen to this. Right before the show started, no bullshit. They just confirmed the parents of the sniper, okay? They called the
police,
cops
right?
hours before.
What did they say to the police?
They said they think their kid's going to shoot the fucking president.
Honest to
Now,
God?
you tell me why the Secret Service stood down on this fucking shit.
Oh, my God.
Everybody's going to say, oh, you're just talking conspiracies. Well, at what point is that lack of anything not a conspiracy?
Holy shit.
DEI.
They actually said that, Mark?
Yes.
That's unbelievable.
I just saw it. Oh, my God.
So at what point, once again, at what point are these conspiracy theories that the Biden admin wanted this guy fucking dead? At what point, when you basically tell the ATF someone's going to try to kill him, the Secret Service, the FBI, and no one's placed on the roof where he is, an hour before they see the guy looming around with a scope, and then everybody sees him climbing and no one does anything?
Here we come.
At what
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. I'm going to go back to this in a minute, but I'm going to take my calls. Kelly, she has a happy ending we have a follow-up. Now, Kelly called the show, and she called back and...
Why are you laughing?
Kelly?
It's he, Tom.
Oh, he. I'm sorry, Kelly. Okay. So anyway, I didn't know your damn pronoun. I'm going to call you Your Highness. Anyway, Kelly, here's the deal. You bought a 2018 Toyota 4Runner, and you bought a 5-year, 100,000-mile extended warranty for $3,000. And then, as I recall, were you getting rid of this pretty soon? Did you get rid of this or something way before your warranty was up?
Yeah, I traded it in because I was trying to get a truck, and I through just some really bad misfortune at that dealership, the truck they gave me was a lemon, so I ended up with the 4Runner.
So,
I traded the 4Runner in within about a month of getting it.
Okay, so then what happened?
We submitted a refund for the extended warranty, and it kept giving me the runaround. So
now, why did they say it was non-refundable? Because I told you it was refundable and proratable. What did they tell you?
They told me that they had to submit the paperwork, and it started off as a 6 to 8 week return.
Yeah.
And at 8 weeks, it became 8 to 10 weeks. And then at about 10 and a half weeks is when I called you guys.
And so what happened then? I know Deputy Doc called over there a few times. He never actually got to talk to anybody, but they knew why he was calling. What happened?
Well, it was funny. They called me. I talked to you guys Thursday, and by Friday, I had a phone call, and they said they were going to overnight me the check on Monday.
Did you get it?
I did. I got
Shannon
overnighted.
He got the check. What do you want? What do you need to do, bro? I'm in the studio today, not in my home studio. You got to do my dinger. And come on, Shannon. Come on now. Boy, there you go. Kelly, by the way, I really appreciate you calling, and thank you. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys. You do awesome work, so thanks so much.
Man. It's so nice to hear that. Okay, so 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Jamie. Now, this Jamie, I want to take a quick break, come back to Jamie. I'll tell you why. This highlights what I believe is a new level of crime. Now, people might say, Tom, vandals have been with us forever. Yeah, that's true. But if you notice nowadays, there are crimes that are committed, and I guess we can call all crimes committed to be hateful, right, and to be mean. But some of them have no other motivation. There's no profit. There's no money. It's not like, okay, looting a store is mean. It's terrible. They break the windows. They steal stuff. But why do they steal stuff? To resell it. But there are some crimes that are done with no apparent motivation other than to be mean. And that's one of the things.
Like keying a random person's car or something.
Yeah.
Or else they do to put a video on TikTok.
Now, I'm going to tell you something that came out in the news, too, and people say, what is this all about? I know people love seeing conspiracies under every rock, and I'm not talking conspiracy. I'm talking facts. There are two things that are very weird right now that I find. First of all of these videos and people coming out saying they saw a guy crawling around on a roof at the Trump rally, and he was the shooter. And in fact, the police officer who came eye to eye with him saw him and then fell off he was holding on to the roof and peeking over the roof. And he didn't immediately warn anyone. And then you have all of these people who say we were telling police there's a guy on the roof. One person even said there's a guy crawling around on the roof with a gun. Now.
Well, and a lot of it's on video, Tom. It's not like they're just saying it. The video backs up it.
Then you said, and I looked it up, Mark, the headlines now, the parents.
This is incredible.
Go ahead, Mark. What happened? The parents called.
Well, the parents, right before the show started, we find out the parents of the sniper, the attempted assassination. Here, this is unbelievable. You ready for this? They called the cops hours before, thinking their kid might make an attempt on the president's life. Can you believe it? So all of this goes down, and I keep saying this. At one point, do people go, oh, that's a conspiracy? Where does it cross the line of these guys did nothing? They did nothing. They were warned 2 hours before from the parents. Cops knew about it. Everybody knew about it. Then we find out Iran wanted to kill this guy. It's just so infuriating. At what point is it no longer a conspiracy that the Biden administration could care less if someone shot the former president?
Yeah. As far as caring, I don't think they had anything to do with it, but I think there's something.
Are you kidding? He's the one that hired the lady in charge, Tom. He hired the lady that used to work for Pepsi to run the Secret Service, and it's gone to hell.
Yeah. More coming up on the Troubleshooter Show.
This hour from the Trajan Wealth K-House Studios. Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Red Pilled America.
Some new delays up on the north end of town. I-25 southbound at 136. The crash in the right lane has stop and go back from E470 Northwest Parkway. We've seen about 10 minutes of delays for folks heading into the metro area from the north end. It's otherwise calming down throughout town for the late morning commute. I-25 north and southbound otherwise showing highway speeds into and out of downtown. If you're heading to DIA, I-70 east and westbound flowing free from the foothills to Pena and back again. Fox 31, pinpoint weather. It's another warm one out there today. High 86 this afternoon. Scattered thunderstorms today and throughout the rest of the week. Overnight low of 60. The current temperature in Denver is 76 degrees. With your impact traffic and weather, Mark Swan at 630 KHOW.
This week on Red Pilled America, we continue our deep dive into cryptocurrency and where it's going. Our conclusion will no doubt shock you. Don't miss this episode. Listen to Red Pilled America anywhere you get podcasts. That's Red Pilled America, a storytelling show.
You know, QC Colorado stands for Quiet Cool Whole House Fans. And I'm telling you, I love QCColorado.com. I love it for my home because in my home, it has made it so cool and so level temperatured that my AC hardly works. Now, it does work. Yes, it does. But I save so much money compared to what I used to spend. And I want you to check it out. QCColorado.com. Here's the deal. They put in a fan in 1 or 2 hours. It's remote controlled, so they don't go into the walls for wiring. And then you control it. You can turn it on in the mornings and the evenings. You can turn it on when you get home and the house is extremely hot because you didn't run your AC all day. It cools it down in a few minutes. You can do whatever you want with it, and it will even out the temperature in your home and make your air conditioner work less and save you money. 303-800-3419. It's that easy. 303-800-3419. So listen, guys.
Hey,
a little off base today, and I'll just share something with you.
So these people, hey, MH, I'm going to read that no trespassing sign for my neighbor. And if you guys didn't see my neighbor yesterday, holy moly.
It's not like I heard it.
We're hearing, but Tom is still trying to correct Doc's behavior.
But it is weird.
I know. Well, my God, people have been trying to do that forever.
Yeah, what's going on, Mark?
Read it,
So
Mark.
the neighbor I showed you yesterday.
Yeah.
Trump.
My hillbilly neighbor.
Yeah.
My Trumper.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got a no trespassing sign that reads the following. Warning, private property, no trespassing. And by the way, the sign's big as hell. Without the owner's express verbal or written authorization. This includes any and all government agencies. And then it goes on to, quote, USC Title 18, Sections 421 and 242. Any and all other applicable federal and state or civil criminal trespasses. Violators will be treated as intruders.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Now, would you climb over that fence? I assure you, I would not.
Does that include neighbor? Hey, Mark, does that include his postman?
I dare you to knock on the door, say, U.S. Census.
Oh my
that's the
God.
one. That's it.
Or, yeah. Or,
FEMA.
hey, I'm with the Joe Biden campaign.
Hey, Mark. I was just about to tell Tom.
Yes.
I saw something on YouTube last night where Bobart was grilling the people from the EPA. She had at least 4 organizations that were getting $50 million each that were terrorist organizations, had nothing to do with EPA, and this freaking guy could not defend it. It was unbelievable. I all of a sudden became a Bobart fan. She ripped this guy over the coals about giving away $50 million at a shot to groups that had nothing to do with EPA, but were terrorist organizations.
I'd let her grill my meat.
Well, I can ask her tomorrow because she's going to be on the show.
Is she going to be on the show?
Yeah, tomorrow.
On this show or on...
Ryan, probably. Yep.
Oh, that's great.
You have to show up.
I like her, actually.
Oh, God, I'm crazy about her.
I didn't like her at first.
Well, I
don't know enough about her.
It's a little like
I
Trump,
just
where
didn't
it's
like
hard
the
to
way
get
she
used
was
to it.
vaping and making out with her boyfriend at the fucking
A little
show.
bit, oh, come on. A little
No one
over
was
the
supposed to know
trousers
about
never
that.
hurt anybody. Come on.
A little wide.
Over the trousers. We call it a pig in a blanket.
Oh, did you guys see that country gal singer
Yeah.
sing
Oh,
the
my God.
national anthem?
Yep.
Oh,
No,
God bless, that was horrible.
From
happened?
Douglas County.
It was straight up Roseanne-like.
She was
It
from
was
here.
worse than
Really?
that. She was drunk as hell and couldn't do it.
She's from here.
She
Yeah,
came out
she's
today
Colorado.
saying she apologized and is checking herself into rehab.
I'm going to do something epic here and do that same thing.
Was she drunk?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Drunk as a skunk.
Oh, man,
she was probably nervous.
I just
Some
need
of the
a
ball
quick
players were
bracer.
just like looking like, holy shit.
I want to see. Is it on YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Home Run Derby national anthem. Home
It-
Run
you
Derby
you
national
can't imagine how bad it is.
It's really
She
bad.
actually starts off a little rough, but you're thinking, oh, it'll get better. Oh, no.
No, it doesn't.
It's amazing she could actually walk out there.
Hey, we had somebody on CMN this morning who's making an ammunition vending machine.
I know, that's fantastic.
Yep, it goes in grocery
I
stores.
like
They
it.
have them all over Oklahoma right now.
Oh my God! All I typed in YouTube was home.
Oh, here we come.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. Okay. So, Jamie, I heard about this and said, I can't believe it. And I think it goes into a category of just plain mean. Can you explain what's going on?
So we have a family-owned and run company. My brother-in-law, my husband, and our family run a tree spade business.
Now,
We
it's
have
it's a
farm.
tree. It's like a tree farm.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
So we have a tree farm out in Elbert, Colorado, and we've been working hard trying to invest in our future and possibly the futures of our children, just depending on what avenue they take.
How long have you been in business,
And-
Jamie?
We've been in business as landscaping and more recently and completely now tree moving and sales since 1999.
Okay. So you've been doing it a while.
Yes.
Okay. And
Yep.
what happened?
So somewhere around about the 13th to the 15th of June, somebody cut our fence, went into our tree farm, and took a chainsaw to both irrigation system and over 277 trees.
What stage of development were those trees in?
A lot of them were completely ready for retail sale.
They
We've
just
been
went in.
selling
Could this have been-
So they didn't steal the trees. They didn't do anything.
No.
Common sense would tell me competition.
God, do you really believe that?
I believe. Who else would do it? What maniac's going to go in the middle of Elbert County with a chainsaw?
Yeah. So we're trying to find the people that did this. We want to hold them accountable. We want justice, because what they did was try to put us out of business, and that's very personal. That's not something that we've ever warranted through the way that we conduct ourselves, the way that we do business, the people that we are, and this is very personal.
Does insurance cover
It was either
anything?
a pissed off customer or a competition, man, or an ex-employee. I agree. This is a very personal act.
You think so, Mark? Like they were targeted, right?
I definitely.
Yeah, we are definitely targeted. It's just a matter of now finding out who. So
Okay.
we've hired a PI. We are using every bit of technology available to us. Anything that we find out, we're actively pursuing. We want these people held responsible.
Wow. I wonder where you even start with an investigation like that.
You know, we're kind of deferring to the professionals on this, because this is something that we can't even fathom or comprehend.
Now, let me ask you this now. Now, you say a chainsaw. How do you know that? I mean, it's obvious because they were so... They left them right. They left the trees right there.
Yes, they did not physically remove anything from the property. They just wanted to destroy everything they possibly
That is so
could. They wanted to
sad.
do as
Tom, you couldn't cut that down that many trees without a
Yeah,
chainsaw.
that's true. That's true. So do you think, I mean, do you think it could be one of your neighbors was there anyone that ever objected to you for some reason having a tree farm? I could think of no better neighbor than having trees, but I don't know.
See, and our neighbors are great. We are on really good terms with everybody that we've met. We don't have like an ongoing. It's not like Hatfield and McCoy's. It's nothing like that. We don't do things like that. And our neighbors seem like they're perfectly fine having trees instead of rambunctious teenagers or something for neighbors. They're fine with the tree farm. We've never had a complaint. The property that we purchased was already a tree farm. We've just worked hard to improve it and try to optimize what's going on. So we weren't establishing something that wasn't already there.
Now, why do you not know exactly when? Do you not go out and check them off? And you said sometime between what and such.
So we work on other properties during the week. We're moving trees, things like that. We have other locations that we do pull trees from. So we were not on that property on our tree farm. We check it on the weekends, but we were not out there that weekend. So we were out there Wednesday, and then we were out there the following Tuesday, and that's when we found all the damage.
What do you know about the prior people? Did they happen to get foreclosed on? Was it at auction? I mean, there's got to be someone out there, the PI or you and your husband are looking at.
We are looking at everybody right now.
I want to ask you something. I once saw this on a TV show. Please don't laugh at me, but it was on a cop show. And what did the cop say? The cop said, a few people came to your mind when you saw it. And now I don't know if that's true. It was a cop show, but I figure they have cop consultants. Did that happen?
Sounds right.
Did anyone pop into your mind? 1 or 2, 3 people?
I know it's.
I'm not asking for you to name them on the air, but did anyone pop into your mind?
We definitely have our suspicions.
See, I thought so. But let me ask you this. Why did they pop into your mind when they did? I'm not asking for who they are. Why did they pop into your mind?
Sure. Because who else would do it? It's just
she doesn't want to give it away.
Knowledge.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who you can eliminate.
Who can you eliminate? Trump?
Joyce Kilmer.
Trump was at the convention.
Jamie, what is the value of these trees that were destroyed?
Yeah, what's the value?
The retail value by the time we would have been able to sell everything that was damaged is over $325,000.
Now, $325,000 was the gross amount. What would your profit have been?
That's with our profit.
That would have been your
trees that were destroyed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
you
listen,
figure $1,000 plus a tree.
So listen, man, that is unbelievable.
Easily.
So, do you have any kind of business insurance?
We have every kind of business insurance except crop insurance because of all the things that we felt like we had to protect. Trees growing on a random piece of property somewhere was not even in our wheelhouse of being a necessity. So as far as being made whole by insurance, that's not happening here.
It sounds like it's someone. I bet someone in the business would know that too. Someone in that same business would know you didn't have that insurance. I go back to an ex-employee or a competition.
Why, Mark? I mean, a competition. Now, first of all, you're talking about.
You know how hard, even with an electric chainsaw, to cut down 200 and plus trees is insane. No one would do this just to do it.
No, and we had a bunch of smaller nursery stock that we had just bought this spring. There's probably over 200-300 trees out there that are younger. They were, we were getting them planted so that we could grow them up to sell them as adult trees instead of, younger trees. And they cut all the leaders out of every single one of them. So they knew. They had tree knowledge of what to do. Yes.
Plus your irrigation system.
And I'm sure they knew there was no insurance to kick in.
It was hate for sure.
Jamie, I have
How long do you think it would take? I mean, you know how long it takes to chainsaw stuff better than I do. How long do you think these vandals or these asses were there?
They would have been on property for hours. It's not just a wham.
So
bam
it's somebody who knew someone who knew your schedule even.
Well, to the best of our knowledge, because we do have a couple neighbors in particular that really do look out for us, we think this happened overnight. So they were out there in the middle of the night doing this. It's mind-boggling. And the more I talk about it, the angrier I get about it again, because we don't conduct ourselves in a way that this retaliation would have been justified in any way, shape, or form. I'm not saying that retaliation like this ever would be, but
not in your eyes, but in their eyes, they thought that.
Obviously, I don't know who they are. I can't understand the way they think, because there are lines you don't cross, and this is way the hell.
What can we do to help you?
It's nuts.
Just getting the word out there.
All right, let's talk about.
How about putting a reward out? How about putting a reward out over the air?
We have a $10,000 reward.
Okay.
Right
now tell us, how do they narrow it down? It's in Elbert County, right?
Yes.
Where? I mean, can you give? I mean, is it something you don't mind giving out?
It's off of Mall Road and 102, so it is way out there.
Someone knows. Someone listening knows who did this. Someone knows.
Here's
they
the
get
deal.
10 grand.
It's too random. You don't just go driving around and say, let's stop here and cut down trees. Did you say Mull Road, like M-U-L-L?
M-A-U-L.
Oh, Mall Road.
And yes.
And what?
And County Road 102.
Okay. Okay, hold on. We want to talk about this and figure out what we can do for you, okay? So hold on. I'm Tom Martino.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Our American Stories.
Some new delays up on the north end of town. I-25 southbound at 136. The crash in the right lane has stop and go back from E470 Northwest Parkway. We're seeing about 10 minutes of delays for folks heading into the metro area from the north end. It's otherwise calming down throughout town for the late morning commute. I-25 north and southbound, otherwise showing highway speeds into and out of downtown. If you're heading to DIA, I-70 east and westbound, flowing free from the foothills to Pena and back again. Fox 31, pinpoint weather. It's another warm one out there today. High 86 this afternoon. Scattered thunderstorms today and throughout the rest of the week. Overnight low of 60. The current temperature in Denver is 76 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
This is Lee Habib, host of Our American Stories. On our next episode, a police chaplain tells the harrowing story of his response to the Oklahoma City bombings. You won't want to miss the next episode of Our American Stories.
K&H Home Solutions is the oldest home improvement company in Colorado. 65 years strong. 3 owners, I've known them all. And right now, they have coupled with another company with great heritage in Colorado, and that's Alpin Windows, who's been making windows in Colorado for a long time and now has ventured into the residential market with a great insulated fiberglass window, unbelievable insulated glass unit. These things are great. And together with a company like K&H, you have a winning combination. KHWindows.com. Call today for a free estimate, 303-421-7100. And you want to talk about deals, how about EuroPlumbingColorado.net? The absolute best deals anywhere with water heaters. $13.99 will get you a 40-gallon tank fully installed, the old one taken away. $14.99 for a 50-gallon tank. And you know what? You will love the way they do business. They come in, get it done, and there are no hidden charges. Euro Plumbing Colorado, for all your plumbing repairs at discounts, 303-668-6844, 668-6844. Estate planning is something that everyone needs, whether it's a simple will or a trust. Whatever it is, you really need Keel and Park, because here's how they do business. They'll go over everything you own, everything you're invested in, your business, everything, and then come up with a plan for you and some suggestions with flat rate pricing along with their suggestions. You can decide how much to do. All of that's free of charge, and then you decide what you want to spend after that with a flat rate. LawKP.com, 970 818-8198.
Man, I'm telling you, employee or competition? Ex-employee.
Ex-employee.
No.
You guys have never irritated anyone that bad, have you?
No.
No, they just get.
So, Tom, do you think?
Although I pissed
if there
Bart
was
off
a
pretty good.
Democratic governor of Ohio, that he would have picked J.D. Vance? And I don't think so.
I don't know. I don't know.
There's no way he would let a Democratic governor shift the balance in the Senate. What?
I think he should have picked Mankey or that Rubio. Nobody knows this Vance guy. I'm sorry, Doc. I don't think people trust people with beards. You know, I think he's just right out of law school.
But it's certainly not going to pick someone from a state that has a Democratic governor.
Available for
because that
floor?
would shift the whole balance of power in the Senate.
Yeah, because I think KOA's going to be on one.
Well, he's not until the last literal spot of the day, so I just need him for like.
I think Rubio. What's that black guy, Scott?
Well, there must be a reason why
He'll be halfway to
didn't choose
Nebraska
those
by
people.
then.
No, I'm not leaving till tomorrow.
His son really likes that guy, man. And that guy's a good pit bull, man. He
So
can go out
why
and be
won't
the
you
tough
just
guy
take
now.
One of the
Well, you know,
station trucks up there.
There's
Will they
got to
not
be a
let you?
reason. You just don't know what it is.
I just said the reason, Doc. He's the pit bull. He is the pit bull, my friend.
yeah.
He will go out there and do what Trump's been doing.
I thought that Nikki Haley would be good because she's a woman and she's a woman of color.
What color?
He likes Nikki Haley. Now you sound like a liberal. Let's get her because she's let's hire her because she's of color and a certain sex. That's insane.
I think she'd be very good for the job because she's eggshell white and has an innie.
I'm sorry, just turned it on there. Sorry.
We don't care. We're having our own fun over here.
We are?
Yeah. Talking about Lick Me Haley. Well, Nikki Haley last night sounded like she was giving some sort of hostage announcement, you know.
I thought she
am
did
okay.
good, man.
I know, but she still had that. She was kind of.
She is absolutely vile.
There's that, but I am saying this of my own free will and volition. I have not been coerced in any way to kid him. Here we come.
630 K-How.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. So we want to figure out what to do. These the road, if you have any information, what number should they call? Elbert County Sheriff's Department or what? I mean, if they saw anything, heard anything, that's so far out there, but they might have ideas. They hired a private detective. In case you just tuned in, this Jamie and her husband, they run a tree farm. They had 270 trees vandalized. People cut down their fence, went in and just sawed down with a chainsaw 270 trees, plus destroyed the irrigation system. Just plain mean, destructive, hateful. You know, that's what, there's so much of that going on nowadays, so much of that. And it's not like they stole it. They didn't have money as a motive. It was pure disgust and hate. What else do you call it? Anyway, it was out near Mall Road, M-A-U-L, Mall Road, and County Road 102 in Elbert County. And anybody have any ideas? Give us a call or give the Elbert County Sheriff's Department a call. And we have more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show. We've been talking about a whole bunch of stuff, but if you have problems, questions, and complaints, they get priority. Monty, I promise you, you're first out of the gate. We'll talk about Markley Motors coming up.
All right.
Tom, where was your brother
Good
living?
morning. Thanks so
In
much
New
for
York?
calling the Tom Martino Show.
I know. I know you talked a couple times that he has problems.
Drug addiction, alcoholism, also extreme mental illness, bipolar, not taking his meds, living like a bum, just terrible father, terrible. I mean, everything you could think of was wasted.
Where did you
His
email
life
it
was
to?
a waste. I mean, no life's a waste. I don't know what to say.
I know what you're saying.
It's just such a regret. I mean, and nothing you say. He was 80-something. Nothing you could say to him. Nothing you could say to him. Yeah, it's amazing he stayed alive that long. Plus he smoked like a fiend. I mean, the guy did nothing to preserve his life.
What did he die of? Do you know? Was it a heart attack or
No, I mean,
general organ failure?
they said he was extremely weak, died, and just faded away.
Are you going to the funeral? Or you're not sure?
I don't know. I mean, he was alone in a nursing home, and my sisters had gone to see him because they lived down there a few times to help him. He just kept getting more delusional and mentally ill and weak and confused. What do you do? I mean,
When's the last time you saw him?
Good morning, Troubleshooter Show. Did you want to talk to Tom and the gang?
a while ago, bro.
You got it. I'll get you over to her. Hang on.
Listener who said he sent something to your Google number. Talia, the scammer for the tickets, there's a warrant out for her arrest.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Wow.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Bo. How are you?
Pete? Good morning, Troubleshooter Show. Did you want to talk to Tom and the gang?
Are you having
We have her
difficulty
around
deciding whether to go to
somewhere,
the
I
funeral or
think.
not?
I don't know if she's still on hold.
Oh,
but,
just as
They're having some
cremation?
thing, and then he's being cremated. Look, he didn't even have a lot of friends later in life. He was just.
It's I can picture it. Just a lonely old guy that was just going downhill.
No, I bet.
If you really want to know the truth, he was the most
Well,
selfish person.
I'll have them kind of add that to the mix here, but that, maybe somebody they're having a water dispute with, it'd be easy peasy to pin it on them.
There's not a lot good to say about
But he had kids?
Yeah, and okay, never was a really good dad. His kids, one of them died during COVID, not because of COVID.
Right.
He was obese and he was sick but he didn't die from COVID. However, they listed him as that, but there was no COVID.
Wow.
The guy was an alcoholic, a drug addict.
Oh, his son? Like father, like son, huh?
Oh, I appreciate it, man. Absolutely. Thank you so much. You too, bye.
It's sadness because
It is.
the regret of waste. It's not. Let's put it this way. When I first heard, I went, "Fuck, he's almost better off." And then, but there's extreme sadness, and I just can't get it out of my. I thought I could come to work and be better, but I'm having a tough time right now. It's not because, oh, poor me, I lost my brother, because we weren't. Well, we were all close as a family, but he was always the odd one out, just troubled. Mental illness is terrible. It's terrible. You know what's terrible about mental illness? Because the people themselves alienate themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're not likable. Isn't it terrible? And they're not likable because of their mental illness.
When he at any time taking meds to help him?
He asked now and then, but he almost liked the high of not taking the meds.
Right. That's obviously.
Then he had other stuff. I mean, the guy was he was taking bipolar meds toward the end of life.
What do you do for a living, Tom?
He was most of his life. He was a certified public accountant, but never did that. Never did that. He most of his life was in sales of some kind and killed it, but he was like never saved a dime. Oh my God. And he was in the service, and then so he got some disabled veterans stuff because he went in. They shouldn't have taken him. He had a bad leg that they should have picked up on, and they didn't, which made it worse. So he got a little bit of a pension. But then he made a shitload of money as a car salesman.
Really?
He was a really good. He was like killing. He was a great salesman. But then he was.
That's sad.
It's not like he worked at it. He just. I don't even know.
Just had a knack for it?
Yeah, and lazy too. Lazy, fucking lazy. But just had a knack for that. He was a people person. Yeah. Yeah.
Was he in touch with his ex-wife?
What's that?
Was he in touch with his ex-wife? Or had she passed away?
He had 3 ex-wives.
Wow.
He was a bad husband. He was a bad father. I mean, do you know what? I'm trying to think of something good to say about him. And
Well, he did. He was a great salesman.
If you took him as an island, and you met him, you would think he was the most charming, fucking, likable guy in the world, because he was. But as a person, he was vacuous. God, have you known people like that?
I haven't. I mean, when you talk about him, I can't think of anybody that would be the equivalent.
And he wasn't mean, but he was narcissistic. Everything was through his filter. What about me? He never asked about anything. I mean, if he talked to him, never asked, so how you doing? How's everything? It was like all about him. He almost didn't have an outside focus. I swear to God, it's
all internal.
Well, I don't even know what happened to him. I don't know what made him that way. We all grew up. None of us were like that. We're all extremely loving and close. Who knows, man? I don't know what made him that way.
Something went haywire in his wiring.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help a common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. This hour brought to you by waterpros.net. I think water is one of the most primary things we can do for ourselves, fresh drinking water, along with, of course, supplements. And here's the deal, and good food, of course. Waterpros.net, one of the few people that have dedicated themselves to quality water for your home at affordable prices. And when I say this, I mean it. You will never find better systems at lower prices, nor more dedication than Paul the Waterman. Waterpros.net. Now, Waterpros, when I tell you that, I mean that. 303-862-5554. Whole systems for the entire house, just $3,400 or $3,500. At the kitchen sink, all the drinking water you want, $1,400, whatever. It's just wonderful. 303-862-5554. Let's talk about Markley Motors to Monty. And by the way, I appreciate you all being here. We were talking about Project 2025. Now, listen when I say this. Some people texted me and said, Tom, why bother reading it if no candidates are claiming it? Well, I'm reading it because it's been in the news. And I read the entire thing from cover to cover. Now, I can't tell you I'm an expert at it at all, but I read it. And what I said was, I could see where some people would call it extreme in some from their viewpoint. And I can also see where some people would fully embrace it from their viewpoint, because it really takes some very strong opinions. And if I had to sum it up, the authors of 2025 do not believe we should do anything special for gender dysphoria, especially when it comes to public funding. Not that they should be discriminated against, but nothing should be done in the military or in education or in funding of anything health related to so-called gender dysphoria. That's really a pretty good summary. And they believe we devote too much time, energy, and money to these transgender issues, including the sports, Title IX, and all of that. Nothing should be altered for them. And that they believe gender is sex, and that gender is not a list of 40 other things outside of sex. So that's and I can see where that angers a lot of people, right? Then they think abortion is wrong, done, over, should never be done, and that they should only support candidates and lawmakers and people who are against it and have a pro-life stance. Okay, they don't say they should outlaw it. They never go that far. And then they talk about climate change, that climate change is something that's inevitable in history, and that man, no matter what we do as America and spending the trillions of dollars we do, we cannot affect enough change to make a difference. Unless the world was united in one effort, even that would not bring about enough change. So they're saying that we're devoting too much time and attention. In essence, they're saying we're devoting too much time and attention to climate change, gender identity, and the other, abortion, all those things, and racism. They believe that we devote too much time to that stuff, and we are actually creating divisions among people. Now, I'm one of the few in the media that actually read the damn thing. Now, I don't see anything extreme as far as calling for nationwide bans or laws or anything like that. But they say if we spent money to just help people, Americans, and the country, and to keep us safe and to keep us secure, we'd be far better off and pay less taxes overall. Now, when you read it, I can see where a lot of people would say, oh, my God, it's going to be bringing us back to the 1800s. In a way, it does regress some of the policies that we've had. In other ways, it's refreshing, but it depends on what sections you read. That's my take on it. But I urge people to read it. In fact, I don't have to do it. You can do it. Just if you Google it, it's in a PDF. It's in a PDF.
Why don't you just say what it is? You don't see anything wrong in it.
I didn't say that. I said I don't see anything either way. I think there's a lot of good stuff in it, and I think there's some stuff in it that some people would find offensive. I personally don't find anything offensive about it, okay? If that's what you want me to say.
Thank you.
I don't personally find anything offensive about it or dangerous. I can see, however, where people could use it to advance ideologies that could suppress people.
Those people, I doubt, have read it. Those people are the people you're talking about. They haven't even read it.
And there are a lot of things that we all believe in ourselves, right?
But good information is never bad.
Right.
You will present the information about something that most people don't know what it is, and I don't know how anybody can get upset about the fact that it's, as long as what you're saying is truthful, and I know it is. It's just you're bringing more information.
I'm trying to be rather neutral about it, but I'm saying that I don't think it's dangerous at all. There's nothing dangerous. But listen, if you're into, and by the way, one point,
and let's not forget, neither candidate has anything to do with them.
Less than 1% of the people suffer from gender dysphoria. It seems to me. Now, I'm not saying that people should be left behind just because they're a small minority, okay? We're not that kind of country. But I think we devote far too much attention to those issues, far too much attention. I mean, I don't get it. I just personally don't get it. But then I'm not affected by it.
But we've allowed the progressive left to redefine our culture to some degree. We're bending over backwards to satisfy the demands of a very small percentage of our population.
Now, and again, when we say left, we don't have extreme left all the time, just like when we say right, we don't have extreme right.
That's
the problem.
Tom.
We all use a word, and then immediately we have our own definition of what that word means. And many of us have chosen to mean left is extreme and right is extreme, and there's no in between. But there is in between. In fact, I think most people don't feel fully about one or I don't think they fully feel right or left. I don't think they do. I might be wrong. Anyway, Monty, let's talk about this problem with Markley Motors. Where is Markley Motors located? I fear it's in Weld County, isn't it? Is it?
Larimer County, I believe.
Oh, okay. I'm surprised. Okay. So anyway, Monty, what happened?
In Fort Collins.
Yeah, what happened?
Well, it's not a whole lot of money, and they might be legit, but I took it in for an air conditioning.
Now, by the way,
recharge.
this is not a car you bought there.
Correct.
Okay. What car did you take in?
It's a 2000 Buick LeSabre.
Okay, a 2000 Buick LeSabre. Go ahead.
So I took it in for air conditioning recharge. The guy told me it'd be $170, and then he would do as much as he could for that amount. And if something was wrong past that, he'd give me a call and let me know.
Okay, so this was for to install an AC or service it?
Service it. It was just blowing hot air.
Okay, got it.
I just thought it was a free-on recharge or whatever they do. So he said $170. He'd work on the air conditioner and then call me if it needed more stuff. Well, they called me and said the thing was leaking. They have a whole thing they went through. Leak inspection showed leaking out of the air conditioner. Blah blah. Hoses needed. It was going to be $1,000. I said, well, I don't want to do that, so I'll just come pick it up. So I come in to pick it up, and they say they didn't do any work on it then. They just had the diagnosis on it. And then I go to pick it up, and they say it's $157.
Well, of course it is. They did a diagnostic.
Okay, so that's what I said. I was thinking.
Why should it be free? I mean, why should it be free? Okay, I get what you're saying. You're saying they would service it for $170. Well, they did kind of service it. I mean, servicing includes I don't listen. That's my perspective. Mark, what is your perspective on that?
Well, I don't know what they did, but most likely if it was a very small hole, when they actually hooked up the machine to recover the Freon, they put more Freon in with a dye. Then they saw the dye coming out and then called them up and tried to sell them the additional work.
Would you feel ripped off, Mark, if they said it's $170 for service? Oh, by the way, we can't really service it. We found a leak.
It's one of those. Once again, I think they had to hook it up to the machine and start the evac and recharge on it. So they literally had to do the service. They just found out it had a hole.
Monty, did you feel what did you feel they should charge you? Let's put it that way.
Oh, that's why I sort of prefaced it with saying it could be totally legit. It just seemed.
But what did you feel? What was your first initial reaction?
That they maybe could have put in like one of the hoses on it or instead or something just for the 170, did some kind of work on it.
I don't understand.
Needed hoses.
I think they did. I mean, really, I honestly think they did.
But
okay, well, I really appreciate your
and especially
why I called you, because I know you guys know.
Yeah, we don't know everything, but we have good feelings. Let's put it this way: we have a good barometer based on all of the calls we take. Now, if you said,
I agree.
If you said, "Hey,
by the way,"
beyond
that, I have probably performed and sold 10,000 of those over my lifetime. Okay. You have to hook the machine up. I mean, unless if they were a complete rip-off place, I mean, you have to hook the machine up.
Okay. Now, by the way, thank you for calling, Monty. Now, what do you guys think of what happened to Terrell Davis? Okay. Do you think if he was? I want to ask it because everyone's asking it. If he was a white man, it would have happened. What do you think? Do you think it was because he was black?
I don't know how the tap went down, and I don't know what mood the stewardess was in or the flight attendant. So I don't know, man. But it's a crazy
I didn't
story.
Get a clear picture. Was this a female flight attendant? Do we know?
That I couldn't even tell you.
I don't know. I think it was because I think it said she was taken off of active duty or something. But in any case, I'm just curious what people think about it. Really, I am.
You better explain what we're talking about because a lot of people don't know.
Jose, go ahead, Mark.
Well, as my best recollection, I didn't know you were bringing it up, but Suzanne kind of filled me in on it yesterday. He's on an airplane with his kid. His kid asked for a glass of water or a cup of water or a drink or something along those terms. And she just either didn't respond at all or said she was going to do it. But basically, I don't think she responded or he responded for that matter. So Terrell tapped him like, hey, did you hear him? And then all of a sudden, he basically gets asked to get off the plane.
Okay, and the way it happened, actually, which was weirder, in my opinion, was he tapped her, and you know when the I guess they were flying at the time. Okay, I don't think they were on the ground. I don't know, but when he tapped her, you know, in a plane, everything you might have to speak up louder or something. Maybe he tapped her, and as you said, he didn't realize how hard. Who knows? But he said he tapped her to get her attention. And then she says, "Don't you hit me." But then that was it.
Apparently it was a male, by the way.
And then after the flight is when he was detained. See, people don't understand that. Everything went normal from that point on. They didn't talk to each other. And at the end of the flight, when they landed, there were FBI agents there to detain him.
But then he was exonerated 100%. They said he didn't do anything wrong.
That's right. And even
but to go back to your question, I don't know if there was any relevance if it was a black guy or not. I don't even know how I'd make that determination without being there and not knowing that dude's background. That background could be a racist bigot for all I know. Or he could be married to a black woman. I have no idea.
Hey guys, can I pop in here?
Yeah, go
with
ahead.
Some info. So first of all, it was a male flight attendant.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Second of all, his son, Terrell Davis's son, politely asked for a cup of ice.
Okay.
And the flight attendant pushed the cart through, somewhat ignoring him. So Terrell actually, turned around, still in his seat, and tapped him on the shoulder. And basically, in his own words, he says the flight attendant either didn't hear or ignored his request and continued to pass our row. I calmly reached behind me and lightly tapped his arm to get his attention to again ask for ice for my son. His response and the event was he shouted, "Don't hit me," and left the cart to hurriedly approach the front of the plane.
Okay. So by the way, and then that's why nothing was done then. They were in flight when that happened. Then nothing happened throughout the flight, but at the end of the flight is when they enter. So they must have called ahead and said, I have a guy that was disruptive and I want, because that's what they do. And then at the end of the flight, when you land, there are people there to meet you. So
my gut is the guy, this stewardess, or excuse me, flight attendant, is a complete jackass.
Yeah, who knows what motivated him? That's weird. But anyway, Terrell Davis was very upset about it, posted on social media, and then he has been interviewed by others. And I just wondered what people thought about that, because it did, the airlines are very, very, very sensitive right now to not now, but over the last few years, especially just around COVID, they started getting really, really sensitive about anyone who disobeys them in any way or acts up in any way.
Yeah, well, you give 15 a guy making.
Hello again, Steve Powers from Audi Denver. We have over 100 IIHS top safety pick Q5s available to drive home today. We offer Q5e lease payments starting as low as $339 for 24 months. Buy your dream Q5 or Q5e at Audi Denver in Littleton on Broadway. Visit Aaron and his knowledgeable team today. The ideal shopping experience awaits you with a personal test drive at 6060 South Broadway in Littleton, or visit AudiDenver.com to schedule an appointment with Colorado's premier Audi dealership.
I'm talking to Joe Chiano now, and he is a certified financial planner, which, by the way, is a real designation, which means that he's qualified to look at your family finances, make suggestions and recommendations, and he must act in what's called a fiduciary responsibility, which means he's by law obligated to look for your best interests. Now, one of the things Joe does is something that he believes gives you and guarantees in writing, by the way, safety and growth for your investments along with income. Can you explain it further, Joe?
You bet, Tom. You were talking about people being sensitive, and right now, consumers are really sensitive regarding the stock market volatility that they're facing. So people want to have safety in their retirement accounts. They don't want to lose any money. In fact, they're tired of losing money. So when you look at people that may have a 401k, whether it's present 401k or an older 401k from a previous employer, IRAs, they don't want to lose the money. It's their hard-earned money, and it's a pot of gold for them for retirement. So they're very sensitive regarding the possibility of losing their money. What we offer is safety. We have nothing to do with the stock market. We don't really believe in the stock market for everybody, especially people that are nearing retirement. So we believe in safety. We have products that are safe, nothing to do with the stock market, but when the market grows, they will get a percentage of that growth. Just like, like having a cake and eat it too. They can get the gains of the stock market, but when the market goes down, they're going to stay level. They're not going to lose any money.
Now, to take advantage of this, to talk to Joe, he's got 57 different fixed index annuities you can talk about. And you can contact him at 303-779-6600, 779-6600. The website is mymoneymyway.com. Excel Roofing, as in excellent, EXCEL, excelroofing.com, is a company that believes in doing roofing the right way. And what exactly does that mean? Well, first and foremost, when they look at your roof and examine it and give you a free estimate with a complete, detailed, and written contract, they don't ask you to sign anything to get up on your roof, because that's a tricky way that these door knockers trick you into some kind of a contract. With Excel Roofing, they look at your roof free of charge with no obligation. They present you with a full and complete contract with no obligation until you're ready to go, and maybe even after calling your insurance company. They will never ask for your insurance check or any money up front, and I urge you to only do business with roofers like that. That's excelroofing.com, EXCEL. I've known Jay for 30 years, or, well, let's see, our kids, maybe a little less than that. Anyway, no matter what, though, I do know him personally. 303-761-6400. 303-761-6400.
Did you know your life insurance is an asset?
Okay.
Pays.com, we've created a free policy value calculator so you can find out the worth of your policy in just seconds. There are no fees and no obligations. Get real value from your life insurance when you need it with Abacus. Learn more at abacuspays.com.
A lot of people's heads are spinning from the heat. They're having problems with drainage. The warm weather brings all kinds of problems and things that you need to address in your home. If you're told you need a new sewer line, if you're told you need a new furnace or AC, and you don't want to spend all that money without a free second opinion, get that free second opinion from Fix It 24/7. I've known them for years, and they will give you an honest price up front and an honest opinion as to whether you need it or not. That's fixmyhome.com. 720-526-3939.
Hear that?
Yes,
Tom. Thomas.
Tom. Mark wants you.
That Terrell thing is way worse than I thought, man.
What is it?
So when they landed, the captain came on, told everybody to stay seated. 6 FBI/whatever, Homeland, came on, put him in cuffs, and drug him off.
I know,
you know what?
I
United
know.
Airlines should be fucking sued, and I'd sue the goddamn FBI too, and I'd get that guy for false fucking statements, that stewardess motherfucker.
It was a piece of shit.
Well, probably just on his dick. Yeah, I think I heard right away that witnesses on the plane corroborated TD's story, and that was part of why he was released so quickly.
They said he didn't hit
Can you
anybody.
believe they would do? Why not let the guy? You know what? Fuck United for a minute. Why not?
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Compass Insurance Group, free insurance checkups. Make sure you're not underinsured or paying too much. 303-996-9000. Kate has a comment on Project 2025. Go ahead, Kate. What is your comment?
Hey, hi, Tom. I have read it, and I would just ask you to dive a little deeper on the same page where you found the 2025. There are position papers. When you read those, and they're written by board members of the Project 2025 about the restructuring that they would like to see within the government that includes replacing current people and putting them through indoctrination. Okay, I'm using that word, training program would be the word they use.
Yeah.
16-week training program, how to, be an administrator.
No, you're right. You're right. You're talking about administrators now. What they're saying is they define each position and the purpose of the position and what qualities the person should have and what should be their priorities based on their agency. Like, yeah, you're right.
The same thing every employer in the world does when they interview you.
But what did you not? Was there something that troubled you about it, Kate? I want to look it up. What section are you talking about?
Well, I'm talking about those.
The recommendations for staff, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah. So, what did you find? What did you find troubling, if anything?
That they believe in replacing current people who may or may not have any political affiliation. You can't assume that everyone who works for the government is a particular affiliation.
Right. So the way they did that, and I'll let what she's talking about is this: they took an office position or an administrative position, and they highlight it with a topic. And then they go down and say, this position is critically important. This is why. And then they explain the office. And then they say what that person should be doing and what they shouldn't be doing. Yes.
Okay. And, that's fine. They certainly can have their voice along that. But this is remember, this is not supposed to be completed until 2050. It's a long-term.
Wait, just stick to what you called about. Stick to exactly what Tom just asked you. What do you find wrong with the employer wanting people to understand what their job responsibilities are and whether they can do them or not? What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that. You're assuming that isn't already happening. And
I see what Kate is saying is this. Kate is saying, how can you say, for example, that one position should not cater to, because it talks about not catering to gender issues, for example, or not catering to climate change because their office is not meant to do that. She is saying, how do you assume that everyone in the administrative government is doing the wrong thing to begin with?
Well, I don't think that assumption's being made. Are you saying that they want a wide sweep firing of everybody in government?
No, they want a review of everyone, though. They do. They do.
What's wrong with that? If when I bought 4 Goodyears, guess the first thing I did was go by and interview every single employee in person down to the tire changes to make a decision if they were going to be with me or not.
Do you think that everyone in a government, in our government, should be believing exactly what Trump wants?
No, it's why did you just say Trump?
Trump's not. Now we're associating Trump
Kate,
with this again.
Kate, it didn't talk about Trump.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
They need a Republican administration. They said so. After our next Republican president is elected, whether that be Trump or someone else, they can enact.
Kate, you're missing it. Trump disassociated himself from this group.
But it doesn't matter what she is saying. What she is saying is this: if Trump becomes president, or whoever is president, according to this agenda, by the way, this agenda does not have just the president dictating this. What it is, it's a list of duties for the state, for the administrative state, the regulatory state. It's a list of duties, and it's a list of do nots and stuff they're not supposed to get involved in. All it is policy. What's wrong with that?
Because they are not the experts in that. They are, a lot of them come out of his previous administration. A lot of the board people.
But what you keep talking about Trump. So if Biden did it, it would be fine with you.
No, I don't want either side to take over, quote unquote.
Well, then who does? See, I'm not trying to argue with you, but who does? Kate, someone's got to lay down how their administrative staff and regulators regulate. Who else should do that other than the leadership? That's why they're the leadership. I mean, they set forth policy for their staff. See, I happen to believe that the regulative state right now, the administrative state, they're overrun with power. They're drunk with power, and they have all kinds of power. It's amazing what they can do with the swipe of a pen.
And Tom, I've been watching some of the appropriations committees and other things on YouTube. The level of incompetence, ignorance, and ideology in these agencies is overwhelming.
Now, what Kate's saying is this. I know what she's saying. I hope, Kate, listen. She's saying some of these people, for example, in an economics office or in a budgetary, they might be trained in accounting or certain skills. They may have a lot of skills that an elected officer would not. And just the mere fact that you have elected people saying, here's how we want you to do your job. But that's not what they're doing. It's not, these are policies that are laid down. They're not just picked by whoever is a senator or congressman or president. That's why they laid out this agenda, because they want them to follow certain guidelines so they can't, for example, make them do things outside of the guidelines. They're trying to lay down guidelines for their administrative staff, and I call it administrative. It's way more than that. It's regulatory, administrative. It's basically what people call, do they call it the deep state or whatever? The unelected officials. They're trying to lay down a policy for all unelected officials, saying you're not elected, you don't have a right to just run your office the way you want. Here's how you do it. Do you think there's anything really wrong with that?
According to them, here's how you do it. It's their agenda. I mean, you don't see their push.
Oh my God, that would be their administration.
But
that's
no, but Kate, they're saying you're right. You're right, Kate. You're right, Kate. It is according to their view. That's right. You're right.
Yeah. Okay, but there's other views. I just think that it's a one. You either fit in the way that we have it. It's called. I'm sorry to draw the analogy, but it is rather Hitler-esque.
But Kate,
oh,
but
God,
wait, Mark, wait. I really want to say something, Kate.
I swear to God, a liberal can't go 3 minutes without saying Hitler.
Mark, hold on a sec. Kate, you see, here's the point. Here's the point, is that this is their agenda. You're absolutely right. But for you to pretend that the progressive movement doesn't have its own agenda. So what they're saying, here's what they're saying. This is our conservative agenda. They call it the conservative promise. They're not hiding from it. Now, I'm not talking about candidates. I'm talking about the group that put this together.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So, yes, it is their agenda. It absolutely is. But to think if you didn't have this, you wouldn't have an agenda is absolutely wrong, because right now we have a woke progressive agenda, just the opposite of this. So it doesn't. So what people want is what they'll vote for. Kate, you're absolutely right. These people have their own agenda, just like the progressives have their own agenda. And right now we're under that agenda. We're under an agenda right now. It may not be this one, but we're under another agenda. Can't you agree to that?
I do agree.
So we're under whatever agenda people elect, we're under. What I'd like to see, and maybe this is what you're saying, what I'd like to see is that no one has, that we take the good and bad from different agendas and kind of meld them together. I mean, but I don't see anyone ever doing that. I don't know where the line was drawn, but it was. We're never going to have people in the middle saying, it's okay to do this and let's do this, but not this and not that. They're never going to meld the agendas.
This hour from the Trajan Wealth K-House Studios. Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Macy's Backstage.
Some good news for our downtown drivers. I-25 northbound is all clear at 23rd after a stall had some gummed up traffic back from Alameda. We are still seeing some heavy traffic through the downtown area, about 3 or 4 minutes of delays. 6th Avenue eastbound, we're seeing some stop and go on the off-ramp to I-25 southbound. Nothing too out of the ordinary there. I-70 east and westbound flowing free from the foothills to DIA and back again. South of DIA, I-225 north and southbound. No complaints through Aurora and the Denver Tech Center. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, another hot week ahead of us, but rainy to boot. We're seeing a high of 86 this afternoon with scattered thunderstorms in the PM. Overnight low of 60. Tomorrow, isolated thunderstorms, high 91. The current temperature in Denver is 79 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Shop Macy's Backstage today for amazing deals on everything you need for summer. Get low prices every day at Macy's Backstage. Find a store near you at macy'sbackstage.com. Off price, on trend, arriving daily.
John Fuller Law is a personal injury attorney that does his practice in a way that you're not going to find much in this business, and that is personal touch, personal communication, personal information. You call him personally, not a call center, and you talk to him. When he takes your case, you still talk to him with his cell phone that you can call or text at any time. Here's another thing. He doesn't have a giant firm on purpose. He takes only the number of cases he will handle personally. If you like that way of doing business, and if you like the personal attention for personal injury, someone you can talk to directly, then call John Fuller, 303-597-4500, 597-4500, myaccidentlawyer.co. Red Rocks Roof and Solar is a company I highly recommend for solar, and I'll tell you why. They know the business inside out. They know the installation, the service, the operation, the financing, the tax credits, and even the grants available. And they can help you get a system in for as little as possible when it comes to outlay of cash and to get the maximum efficiency. RedRocksRS.com. I know the owners, I know the crew, I know that they have it, the best interests for you. 303-704-2449. How much time? Probably not much. I gotta pee. Oh, Mark's here.
3 minutes, maybe?
Hey, Shannon.
Yeah, man.
Are you on YouTube?
No, what's happening?
Well, there's a meme up there, and I want your first impression of it.
I don't do impressions. I am, however, going to have to pee.
Good morning. Thanks so much for calling the Tom Martino Show.
And now what do I do? Is it something you put on our page?
No, it's in chat on YouTube. Go up a little bit.
Dating site yet?
It's two memes put together. I assume one is a pickle and the other is water. Do you see it?
Nothing yet. Hang on. How do we get
It's probably
chat?
10, 15 up.
Okay, yeah.
Case 13.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think that represents?
It's something involving ejaculate. Why?
Oh,
that's exactly what I thought. A jerk off.
Well, yeah.
People are guessing what it is. They're like cube water, pickle juice.
It's Pickle the Waterman.
Yeah.
I've never seen that one before. Have you?
Yeah, oh yeah, I've seen it all.
It should be awesome.
Very embarrassed to say that.
Show you. No, yet, but I'll be out of here for about a week, 10 days. No internet. Did you shoot your 410?
Excuse me?
Did you shoot your 410?
Not yet. He keeps.
It's been hot out.
Yeah, of course. Okay, I'm behind the times. No, it's not I don't know what it is. It means jerk off. I don't care what anybody says. I just didn't know that. Did you know that?
Oh, what, Facebook?
Yeah.
Pickle in the splash?
Yeah. Wouldn't you say that's jerk off all day long?
Yeah, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
No way.
I won't be in there to turn my neighbor in.
I'm telling you, that means jerk off right there.
Well, yeah, and it's pointed the right way. The pickle is pointed the right way because Savvy B asks,
Yeah.
shouldn't you use an eggplant? Obviously, that's a different race, and it's pointed the wrong way.
Ah.
Oh, wow.
And I mean different race, like the difference between Indy and NASCAR.
Yeah.
What's your favorite race? Well, I kind of like the...
Now that they're laughing because I didn't call them emojis. I called them
know,
memes.
and I thought about that. I think about that sort of stuff with you often, Mark. I'm like, it's
Shut up.
Shut up. It's crazy what you do know.
Now I got to Google meme versus.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Frank Duran, the real estate man for market valuations of your home. I mean that. If you're looking to sell a house, so many people have questions first. Ask your questions, no obligation. You never have to list with him, but he'll tell you what he thinks it will sell for and why, and all of the market factors affecting your home. He'll even tell you how to stage it if you don't want to use him. He's a great man. 303-920-1622. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. Okay, so Kevin, go ahead. Now, you had an issue with Gilbert's Tree Service. You were working with Deputy Doc.
Yes, sir.
What is going on, sir?
Well, when he delivered the firewood back in February, he was driving a truck, pulling a trailer, and the four-wheel drive wasn't working.
That's right.
And he got stuck on the ice, and then he eventually slid sideways, and he finally got the truck and trailer out. And
you
firewood
said
delivered.
that the truck did a lot of damage to your landscaping, right?
Well, not the landscaping, the 4x4 posts. There's two of them plus the gate.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
To close off so we can keep our horses in.
Okay.
And so we need the gate. Well, they bent the gate up, so we need the gate replaced. He took out two 4x4 posts, so we need them replaced.
Oh, I'm sorry. You were working with Deputy Dollar on this, I thought I put down here. You were working on this one?
I thought it was Deputy Doc.
Oh, Doc. I'm sorry, Doc. What did you do, Doc? Did you call him?
I tried to get in touch with them, and they never got back to me.
Yeah, I get the same thing. They completely ignore me.
Oh, man. So we haven't heard anything from them.
I will try. I've tried them a couple of times. I'll try them again this afternoon, Kevin. Otherwise, maybe small claims court is the
How
best
much
option.
damage? How much did it cost you to fix this?
Well, we haven't been able to fix it yet. I would have to price the 4x4 post.
Okay, is the gate one of these big metal?
Yeah, so it's one of those green preferred cow panels.
Yeah, it's a panel with that.
Panels.
It's a panel that you put the hinge on the end of it, right? And,
right.
And it hangs on the hinge.
Yeah, on the post, and there's
Right.
two hinges.
Right. And then you have the chain on the other end, right?
Well, because there's two gates that close together.
Yeah. And so only one. So you have two panels, and one of them was destroyed, right?
Right.
Okay. Meanwhile, people, where is Gilbert's Tree Service located?
Somewhere around Peyton, I believe.
Do you have a phone number for him?
I can get it.
I have it right here.
Give me the phone number, Doc, because I have an idea. Go ahead. What's
719
719
683
683
3437.
3437. Look, we've given him time to call. Here's what I want people to do. You know what? And if people say to me, why do you do that? That's harassment. No, it's not. It's no more harassing than a review. And in my opinion, doing a service to the company. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell people to call Gilbert's and say, I heard about you on the Tom Martino show, and you need to call them about Kevin if you're going to be in business. You need to be responsive for damages you do. Their number, Gilbert's, nothing. Don't be vulgar or mean. Just tell them you heard about him. And they need to call us back. Give them the 303 Martino number. Their number is 719-683-3437. 719-683-3437. I don't blame you for being upset. And let's see, that's 719-683-3437. Now, Anthony, what's going on with you?
Hi, Tom.
What's happening?
Well, my mother passed away just the other day.
Uh-oh.
She left a will. She left a will, and I'm wondering if you could help me with a lawyer, maybe, or...
Yeah, we can help you for sure. Yeah, hold on. I'll help you. Hang on, Anthony. We'll answer all your questions. We do it all the time.
What happened?
Northbound is all clear at 23rd after a stall had some gummed up traffic back from Alameda. We are still seeing some heavy traffic through the downtown area, about 3 or 4 minutes of delays. 6th Avenue eastbound, we're seeing some stop and go on the off-ramp to I-25 southbound, nothing too out of the ordinary there. I-70 east and westbound flowing free from the foothills to DIA and back again. South of DIA, I-225 north and southbound, no complaints through Aurora and the Denver Tech Center. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, another hot week ahead of us, but rainy to boot. We're seeing a high of 86 this afternoon with scattered thunderstorms in the PM. Overnight low of 60. Tomorrow, isolated thunderstorms, high 91. The current temperature in Denver is 79 degrees. With your impact traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Shop Macy's Backstage today for amazing deals on everything you need for summer. Get low prices every day at Macy's Backstage. Find a store near you at macy'sbackstage.com. Off price, on trend, arriving daily.
K&H Home Solutions and Alpine Windows, a great combination. K&H is their exclusive dealer for Alpine windows, which are thermally insulated fiberglass windows, and they do a great job at keeping your house warm, to keep the drafts out, and to keep it cool, too. K&H Home Solutions is there for you. You can find them at khwindows.com, the dependability of the oldest home improvement company in Colorado, and a great window made right here in Colorado, 303-421-7100. The Art of Granite will provide materials to you free of charge if you can find it in their remnant yard. These are not seconds, by the way. They're just pieces left over. They have some big enough to do a kitchen island, a small kitchen counter, or a bar top, maybe some windowsills. Whatever you find, they'll do with materials free of charge. You pay for fabrication and installation. Of course, if you want to buy regular materials because you don't find it there, you can get them at wholesale, and they'll give you prices on the phone right now. Give them a call for your project, 303-386-5919, 386-5919, theartofgranite.com. Right now, a lot of people are being stopped for smoking and driving, and we're talking about smoking weed, and I'm going to tell you, it's coming up almost equal to alcohol right now, and this is the time of year people drink and smoke and drive. So why am I talking about a criminal defense attorney? Because whether you are guilty, innocent, you have a story or not, you made a stupid mistake, I'm not going to go there. You do need an attorney no matter what to get you through the system. And Lazara Legal can take care of it with a flat rate price. You give them a call, free consultations always, and then flat rate pricing, 303-429-6200, 429-6200. Lazzara, Lazara Legal. You can find them at referralist.com.
Thank you. You know what's going to be fun to watch? Not only was the last debate a hoot and a holler.
Oh, the VP debate.
Oh, my gosh. That's going to be awesome.
A mercy killing.
Oh, it's going to be the best, man.
Oh.
Hey, aren't they both from Yale, though?
No, she went to some dumbass Hastings, I think.
I thought she was a brown girl.
She is an attorney. Come on.
Yeah, she went to Hastings.
Okay, well, okay, fair enough. I thought she went to Ivy League. I thought they both
There are
went.
so many goddamn breakdowns in security.
Between JD and VD, who do you think's gonna?
Oh, she will kill it, or he will kill it.
Yeah.
It's just a fiasco. The fact that his parents called the cops, someone's head's going to roll.
His already, but
Oh,
yeah.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, they took him out in the
They
dead
called-
between the
they
eyes,
called
apparently.
The police. They fucking called the police, Tom. I mean, how do you not follow up on that?
Do you think maybe heads will roll if he gets elected?
Well, it's probably like when people call here and want us to pass along information to Tom and Mark. Del.
Appointees.
Hey, this is really
I've been
important. You gotta let
watching
them know.
some of these,
Yeah,
Senate
I'll
and
do
House
that right away.
hearings.
Click.
The people that are in charge, Tom, are
They never
absolutely
pass anything
idiotic
along.
bureaucraats.
If you ask them questions, they don't.
There's a serious
It's
traffic
so
problem out here.
scary.
Can you get the info to the traffic?
And the liberal
yeah, I'm on it.
judges-
I'm
Hey,
on it.
Tim, I saw that.
To a
You
point,
said eastbound side of
either
westbound.
total ideologues
70.
get that at
or
KOH.
total idiots.
Oh, yeah, all the
There's
time.
nobody in
Yeah.
the middle.
And my-
with this Biden,
my-
Well,
deal
wait,
is
you're
that-
saying it doubled the day
Listen,
before. What are you,
his
crazy?
administration
What
has
double?
gone so far off the deep end.
Doc is saying something doubled.
They were
I
they
don't
were
know.
nominating a woman to be on a district court of appeals, who's a traffic court judge. That's the highest she's ever ranked, but she's a black woman who's a judge. So they're trying to get her onto district court. And then I'm telling you, the ideologues just are so crazy. That's why I love what Bobart did, whatever her name is.
Tim, what are you, nuts, man? I mean, I love you, man, but my God.
You blocking
Oh,
him?
he's saying the shorts on DJT. My bad. I know the stock didn't shoot up till after the assassination attempt. It went up 30-40%.
On True Social.
Yeah, DJT.
Ah. Little DJT.
News Junkie says, I read somewhere that the Secret Service was circulating his picture an hour before.
Huh.
I think so. No one's asking for.
So kind of playing terrorist Tinder. They already had his photo. Swiping left on it.
Yeah, Schiff just did.
It's nuts, man. It's
So
nuts.
He's from California, right? Schiff just told him to get out of the race.
Yeah, this thing with Schiff saying he wants him out is actual insanity. Poor guy.
Shift he's probably the most prominent to come out. Well, every time they put him in front of a camera, he like explodes.
He came out as what? Gosh, Schiff.
I'll tell you when he went off on that guy.
Calls for him too.
K-How.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Anthony, I'm so sorry that your mom died just the other day. So now, did she have a will? Are you there, Anthony? Huh. Am I doing anything wrong here, bro?
No, sir.
Okay. Can you see if he's there, guys? He had a question about a will. Someone died. Now, you'd be surprised how many calls I'm getting from people where there was no will. Where if you do not have a will, if the deceased does not have a will, then the law tells who gets what. But here's what you can do. If you're in the line of inheritance and you're senior in the line of inheritance, you can change it. For example, if you're the first in the line of inheritance and you get it, you can decide to divide it up or not. But no one else can without a will. That's why wills are important, even if they're very simple documents. But we have more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. I'll take Anthony right after the break. We reestablished.
Yay.
Hey,
They had
JR.
commercials for,
Where do I
Tony
see that
when-
article,
when
man?
his
Put in there
mom
what I
leaned out
Googled
the
to see
window
that
and said,
article.
"Anthony." No, There was a
For
big
commercials for what?
It was, I think, it was for Buitoni spaghetti, but at least in New York, they played it all the time. This frumpy-looking old Italian grandmother would lean out the window and say, "Anthony."
Well, first of all, everyone named Anthony growing up was Anthony.
More work hours.
Right.
Anthony.
Almost.
Yep, that was my best friend.
You know
Anthony.
what else I've noticed about Colorado speech? They don't say T's. Like, they don't say Thornton. They say Thornton.
Or could.
Westminster.
They don't get the T in there.
Westminster.
But, we all have our dialects.
Westminster.
I've finally gotten over the hump where I've lived in Denver more than New York.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was in New York from.
That's like when you get over the hump when you were married longer than you're single.
Right.
Hey, Tom.
Oh, he will.
Oh, mess.
I think about that now, about
He's not
hooking up with
listening.
somebody.
He keeps forgetting where he is.
Would you please escort him to the microphone? To the podium?
Dragging now. He does just wander off every now and again. Even while he's still there. No, where am I?
It's the emptiness in his eyes that scares me.
Oh, I want to hear this. I tried to find it. Hold on. I heard this was bad.
It looks like, according to one of the listeners, that chick that was scamming people out of tickets has an arrest warrant out. You name it. Over 60 grand in tickets. You name the concert, she screwed somebody over. Yeah, and it looks like, according to JR, the Colorado Springs Police Department has a warrant out for her.
That is pretty horrible, Tom.
Was she drunk?
Apparently, I didn't know
when
anything about it 'cause I didn't watch the
JR,
home run
I'm
derby.
sitting in California, so it even put in Colorado Springs, it doesn't pop her. I'm sure it's the area I'm in. Could care less about
Was she a
Talia in Colorado
a professional
Springs.
singer? Oh, then she's
Boom! I
definitely
found
drunk,
one here, though. Hold on.
'cause that's impossible.
No, this isn't it, though. Thomas Martino.
Sorry, yeah. I got you.
Hey, that ticket scalper apparently has a arrest warrant out. The Talia Yeager, remember her?
Yeah. I saw that. I'm going to talk about that.
What? Oh, God. Yes.
I
but
can't
if you
find
can
it,
find
though.
one.
See if you can
Like
find
breakfast
something on it.
biscuits, we're kind of low.
I've
on
tried
this.
everything,
There's
but I'm
kind of
out in
like
the middle of
foods
nowhere,
in the
so.
fridge. No, do you want a breakfast biscuit?
No, I just want to get some crackers or something.
I think we're out of crackers.
Trail mix.
You got 5 more minutes.
No biggie. No.
I think Biden will go down as the absolute worst president ever. Ever.
Yeah, but how long is that going to
The
take
way
for
he
that
won't
reputation
step
to come
aside.
through?
Yeah, I think even his own party's going to acknowledge it because of the way he won't bow out.
When?
They
In
say
5, 10
every
years?
other Dem candidate outperforms
listening
him.
to us.
I think it screwed up her career.
But when? When, Mark?
November.
November 6th, he will be known as the worst president ever?
No, that's going to take time.
I
History's
think
going to have to determine that. It's going to be 5, 6, maybe 10 years.
Maybe. Well, that's true. Plus, there could always be someone worse.
Chad Bauer.
But my point is, forget about even his policies, whether you like them or not. The fact that his own party wants him the hell out and he won't get away. And then if he loses by a shitload of electoral votes, oh, my God, he'll never hear the end of it.
Who's the most hated? Carter? Isn't he the most worst one so far?
Yeah.
So, but how long?
I would think so.
Huh?
Although
How
would
long
think you're
after
right.
his term did we decide that he was the worst? Was it immediate, or did it take a few years?
I don't know. 14% interest rates on a 30-year mortgage. It could have been pretty fucking quick.
I just think there's still rosy glasses on people saying that he's probably not the worst, so it's going to take some time.
Well, what I'm saying is, the caveat to what I'm saying is, if Trump ends up with 300, 320 electoral votes, that's like he's going to turn states that no one thought would ever be red to red. That's what's going to kill
Yeah, but you
this
also
guy
thought
because
about
he
a
wouldn't
red
step
tsunami
down.
in 22.
I did?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
What did he do?
You said that Mark
maybe a
said
little
there was going to be a red tsunami
Maybe
in
a little bit.
22. It was a.
I did. That's true.
Yeah. It was a red
I
trickle.
did hop on that bandwagon.
Right?
You know what? You just pointed out the one time I've been wrong.
One time.
That was
happens
it.
to the best of us.
But wait, maybe I just said that to say it, and I didn't think it.
Just so
I
that
said
you
it
could
in
be wrong.
jest,
Right, yeah.
just to see what it felt like to be wrong.
Right.
No, wrong.
Right.
Wrong.
Right.
Wrong.
Like the Fonz when he used to say it wrong.
Are we 12 years old? Of course we are.
I know you are, but what am I?
Whatever you say to me, I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever you say to me bounces off me and sticks to you.
Really?
No.
10 seconds.
Cash. That's cash. Enter it now at khow.com. Inflation salvation on 630 KHOW.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. This hour brought to you by 888heating.com. If you need a second opinion, if you need anything to do with an AC, they're out in force helping people through this heat honestly and accurately. That's what's important. 303-770-2776, 888heating.com. All right, so we started out the show earlier today, and we were talking about Project 2025. We'll have some comments on that, so hang on, Mark. But I want to go to Anthony, who has an issue with a will. And Anthony, he said his mom died recently. Sorry about that, Anthony. What are your questions, basically? What did she die with a will?
Yes, and she gave me a copy of the will before she died.
Do you have an original?
No, I don't. This is a copy that she gave me.
Do you know where the original might be?
I could call and ask my sister, who's the power of attorney.
Okay, I want to ask a couple other questions. And how old is the will?
Oh boy, not old. Well, I could take a look real quick.
The date on it.
Let me see here.
Yeah. Should be right on the top.
Okay.
Or where she signed it.
Yeah.
How many pages is it?
Oh boy, it's about 1, 2, 3, 5 pages.
Okay, well, what does it say the date at the end where she signed it?
She signed it in several spots.
But did she put a date anywhere? Without a date, it's not valid.
Oh boy, I don't see a date.
Well, if there's no date on that will, it's as good. It's not good.
Oh, well, it's a durable power of attorney.
That's not a will. A durable power of attorney is not a will.
Okay, it says gift to family members. I give.
Anthony, before you read that, let me ask a few other questions.
Yes.
How much is her estate worth?
I'm not sure. Maybe $250,000.
Okay, so did she have a home?
Yes.
And was it paid off?
Yes.
Okay. What's that worth?
I think she paid $300,000 for it. Maybe around.
Well, that's more. That's more than $250,000.
Yeah.
What else did she have? Did she have cash in the bank?
I'm pretty sure she did.
Did she have investments?
No. No, not that I know of.
How about vehicles?
She had one vehicle, a new vehicle.
Okay, now, how many heirs altogether?
7.
7 kids?
7. Well, grandsons, she left some to...
No. I'm talking about immediate family. How many kids did she have?
1, 2... Well, 2... There's me and my sister, and then the granddaughter...
Yeah, okay, I get you and your sister, but does the will name individually other heirs or all? That you said the will names 7 heirs, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And what is your question? How can we help you?
How do I collect on this? I mean,
well, who filed the probate?
That's a good question. That's something.
Who's the personal representative? Well, Anthony, so far you haven't answered one question except 5 pages. So here's what I need to know. I need to know something. Was a probate filed yet?
I don't know.
Okay, where did your mom live? Did you know that? Where'd she live?
She lived in Windsor Gardens in Denver.
Okay, and your sister, is she taking control of this?
She's supposed to. She's power of attorney.
Okay, but that doesn't mean she's the personal representative. Okay, that doesn't mean that. But the will names the personal representative. So when you read those 5 pages, in the very beginning, it should name her personal representative. Who did it name?
Oh, boy.
Anthony, you do know how to read, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you read it, does it say anything at all about a personal representative?
No. No, it doesn't.
Then you have an invalid will. That will has no date, there's no original, and there's no personal representative. So how do you even know does it have a signature even?
Yes, she signed it in several spots.
But but she did not date it.
Oh boy, there's got to be a date on it.
Okay, I'm going to give you some homework to do. Look for a date. Okay, you don't have to do it under the pressure of a phone call. Look for a date. Your question is, how do you collect on it? Well,
yeah.
Okay. Do you talk to your sister?
Yes.
Did you ask her? Did you ask her if she opened a probate?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
The funeral was just yesterday. I don't.
Okay, I get it.
Go too early.
I get it. So, how long ago did your mom die, Anthony?
About two weeks ago, maybe.
Okay. I'm going to give you a list. Can you write a list down of what you need to do?
Yes.
Okay, good. Number one is find out from your sister if she has the original will.
Okay.
If there is no original will, it's going to be very, very difficult unless all the heirs agree to abide by that one. But if that one does not have a date, that will even be difficult. Okay? So you need to first ask your sister, do you have an original will? And also, did you file probate? Once they file probate, here's what happens. The personal representative, a lot of people call them executors, but they're not really called that anymore. The personal representative goes through the estate and pays the bills with the funds available.
Mm-hmm.
With everything left over, they dole out the assets according to the will.
Okay.
That's it. However, the will can be challenged if there is no original and if there is no date. How did you happen to come across a copy?
My mother gave it to me in the hospital.
How long ago?
Oh, about 2 weeks ago.
Okay. That's really good. Were there any witnesses there?
No.
Okay.
Me.
Do you think your sister is going to be fair and honest about this?
That's something I do.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So there's 7 heirs. There's got to be a probate. So call us back, but you must at least get started. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Mark, I don't know if you have a quick comment or not on Project 2025, but I started the show saying I was one of the few probably people in the media that actually read every single word, every single page, and had opinions not on whether people should be for or against it, but why people are saying what they're saying about it. So what do you have to say about it, Mark?
Well, it sounds, I haven't read it, but with listening to your conversation and then listening to what Kate had to say, I think that this is trying to address things, how they're doing it now, because they're just checking boxes now. Say the press secretary is a black, lesbian, immigrant woman. So they get to check 4 boxes. They're not hiring people for their abilities. They're hiring them because who they are, as same as they did with the Supreme Court justice. They went to hire a black woman. Nobody else got a chance at the job because unless they were a black woman.
By the way, I know what you're saying, and to a certain extent, some of that might be true. Here's what I have. I looked up what she was talking about, and I do have some observations about that. I'm going to ask you to hold, and I'll take you, I promise, right after the break, because what you're saying has some validity.
Jeez.
That was a rough call.
I'm telling you. I am. Okay. I'm going to.
So I don't know if Shannon put it on the board, but we do have a John Fuller at 1:45, so we've got plenty of time.
I just realized
But if you want to give him 4.
No.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
But I will.
Okay. Well, there's not a Rockies today.
How do you know? They could be losing in the All-Star break.
Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies. They do it all in retirement. That's why they're called Retirement Planning Center. So you want to plan for income, investment, security. You want to have a bucket for safety. I say a bucket of your assets. You want to be prepared for long-term care and all kinds of things that can happen to you in retirement. And that's where Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies comes in. They're great people designed to help you prepare for retirement, whether you're 30 or you're 60. And then while you're getting ready to retire, to dot the I's and cross the T's. They are your retirement quarterback to help you and your team coordinate what you need and when you need it. It's that simple. And if you ever want to know specifics, like what do they charge and what do they save you and how does it all work, just call them. They'll meet with you or talk with you as many times as it takes for you to feel comfortable. 970-663-3211. 970-663-3211. There's another company I want you to call if you have a property catastrophe. A catastrophe could be a fire. It could be a flood, a broken pipe. It could be wind damage. It could be extreme damage from water flowing in to your basement, sewer backups. Whatever the property catastrophe is, most insurance policies cover it, but they don't want you calling a great company. They get somebody in there quick and dirty. You want someone good because you're left with the mess. Once your insurance pays, they say, I'm sorry, we already paid. So you want American Restoration 24/7. It's that simple. That's who you want to take care of it from the beginning properly. Someone who'll put you in control and make sure you're getting what it takes to restore your property to its original condition. First, they stop the dangerous condition, then work to help you rebuild. American Restoration 24/7, 8337-AM-REST. 8337-AM-REST. The Art of Granite. Now, the word says granite, but they basically do all countertop materials, natural stone, man-made materials, and you can call and get a quote on the phone. Something else you can get, materials free of charge if you can find them in the Remnant. The Remnant Yard has wonderful materials, all first quality. It's just stuff that was left over. So you can do kitchen islands, small kitchen countertops. You can do windowsills, bars, whatever. Or you can go for full slabs at wholesale from their granite yard or their stone yard, I should say. And you can get prices on the phone right this minute, theartofgranite.com, 303-386-5919, theartofgranite.com.
We're going rafting after the show. We're going to leave a little early. And we'll be thinking of all of you. I think it's nice having Tommy in studio. Are you going to keep this up? Yes, I am, Mark. I'm going to keep it up.
We all know better.
It's like 3 days in a row, man. It's, I think, like a world record.
The most I've seen, and I've been doing this for 1.5 years, almost 2 years.
Shh. Just try it.
Hey, if you can get
See
away
how
with
random
it, why the
and-
hell not?
See how random that was? Okay, so this person's saying, do I know the difference between an emoji and a meme? Well, okay. First of all, they're basically the same thing. So there.
Tom, how long is Project 25? Yeah, like 4 or 5 pages or more.
Did you hear that? Kelly's bitching at you.
No, what?
Can you make sure that you sign out of your RV?
You read the
Oh,
whole
yes,
thing?
I will.
Please.
It's only 800 pages.
Because if you don't, she'll let you know.
Kevin, I don't understand your question.
Footnotes, there's pages of that. So in actual reading text, if you take out...
In fact, I have no idea what that
still a
means.
hell of a read.
Yeah, and some of the pages...
Mark, were you at if I can ask that?
I think he meant where.
It's, yeah.
What's that?
I think he meant where.
It's a small book, right?
Oh, where are you at, if I can ask?
Oh, my God. I guess Kelly was still on mic after the show yesterday.
What'd she say?
I
What did
might
she
have
say?
to.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. So, Mark, go ahead. Your turn. We had made some comments on Project 2025. Finish up, sir.
I just wanted to make that point that I don't think people should be put into a position because of who they are, black, lesbian, yada, yada. You go ahead and make up your own, but, I mean, if they're not, I want the best person for the job.
Okay.
And
now, this is really, if I had to sum up 2025 and what people are talking about, really what 2025 says, what they're addressing, it's weird. It's kind of weird. It's really control through no control. And here's what I mean. What they're saying is that our government right now, the positions in our government, there are mandates on how people do their job. And those mandates are everything they do must include DEI, diversity and equity and inclusion, and must address all gender identities, and must address climate change. What 2025 basically says is this: none of those things are your concern. You do your job. So it's actually it's really the progressive, and I'm saying this is clearly a conservative agenda, and there's clearly a progressive one. The progressive agenda actually came in and added more control and definitions than anyone. When they talk about how the conservative agenda wants to control everything, it's kind of just the opposite. They want to take out the controls and the artificial mandates that they consider artificial away from what's happening now. They said that our government is littered with all kinds of inclusion of extra stuff that was never there. In other words, when you talk about the rights of everyone and the Constitution, it covers everyone. You don't have to make extra things in the government administration to address all these things. When you
I agree with everything you're saying.
Okay, well, that's what I'm reading from 2025. So it really isn't the inclusion of a lot of requirements. What it really is getting rid of all of the crap that has infiltrated. Do you know that we went through we as a country went through everything, the entire military, the entire budgets, the entire laws, and they take out references to genders, and they have made everything politically correct, cohesive in their mind, and they have included climate change in areas about education. They've included,
and it's weakening us.
They have included the issues of gender everywhere, where it was just noted as equality of the sexes. Now they include dozens of definitions of different genders. So what this 2025 is saying, when I should have said this to the other woman who called, who said, well, they're putting in all kinds of controls. What they're actually doing is saying that we've had too many controls, and they're controlling our administrators and regulators now to a point where the woke agenda is trying to tell people how to think. I swear to God, that's what they're doing. They're trying, and so what 2025 is saying is, don't tell people how to think, just give them our goals. And our goal should be the protection of the country and of all Americans. And they're saying you don't need to make divisions among us. So if I had to sum it up, that's what it is.
And I would just like to say what worries me the most about it is so many people just accept it as being, right or
well, what they're saying about it being crazy.
They're vilifying it.
Well-
They're vilifying it for exactly what Tom said. I mean, basically, they want to take away the controls, and
They want
there's
to take
nothing
away,
wrong
Mark,
with that.
all of those special
I'm getting at the
definitions,
voters.
all of those special definitions, all of those special requirements, and all of the wokeism that has been built in, they want to take back out again and make it the way it was. They believe addressing men and women, male and female. They believe addressing all Americans and security.
But my point is that's why the left is vilifying Project 2025, because that's the last thing they want to see. They thought they were changing us into a global society of some sort, and they're not.
By the way, our budget items for you.
Thank you.
And thank you for calling. And again, I'm not sticking up for this over anything else because I read it and I just wanted to know what it's saying. And it really is saying, get rid of all this crap and just get back.
Then why won't you say you endorse it,
Mark? Because nobody gives a damn. Because I don't think that much of myself. That's why, Mark. Because I discuss ideas. Because it doesn't really matter.
Everything you read is so in alignment with everything you generally say, is my
Mark,
point.
If you're asking me, do I like I like a lot of what I read. There are some things I believe that will cause severe division. Let me give you an example. It doesn't mean I don't like it. I'm telling you it will cause division. When they talk about protecting the rights of all Americans,
that's all they have, though, Tom. On the left side right now, the Democrat side, all they have is division. They have nothing to run on.
But Mark,
they got a guy in office you can't even look straight.
Mark, where Project 2025 talks about protection of all Americans, they believe in the unborn are full-fledged Americans that should be protected. Now, many believe that, but that, you must admit, will cause severe division among
That's
people.
an aggressive stance, in my opinion. That definitely is.
Okay, all I'm saying is, so when you ask, do I like, what people, I don't think, honest to God, I don't think people listen to this show for political advice from me or what I think should happen. What they listen for is how to protect themselves and not get ripped off and all that. But the reason I took on this 2025 is I was so damn curious, just like when people used to quote from all kinds of holy books. I decided I'm going to read the Quran. I'm not going to let people tell me what it says. I'm going to read from every holy book I can find, the Quran, and I wanted to know what it said. Okay, and I just didn't want to hear it. And what's amazing to me is why more people in the media don't do that. It's there for you. It's 888 pages, but many of the pages are title pages or glossary and things. But if you get right down to it, there might be of real substance, if you condense it all, maybe 600 pages in this mandate for leadership, the Conservative Promise, Project 2025. And I urge people to download it. And I think they would have a good thing. By the way, Bill, you got a question on wills, a general question. What is it, Bill?
Well, I'm just wondering if I even need a will. My wife's on the title for the house, and my wife is the beneficiary of my IRA account.
Listen, if you have everything payable on death, whether it be a will, a deed, whether it be a bank account, a deed, artwork, or whatever, if that's all transferable on death, you don't need a will. However, it's not bad to have a will to dispel anyone who might, and in your case, it may not happen. It may not be a bad idea to have a will that says everything has been accounted for and anything that's not goes to my wife.
Right, and then my kids.
Well, yeah. Well, okay, then you need a will because with the payable on death stuff, it doesn't address how your kids get it.
Well, no, only if she dies.
But what if you both die at the same time, or what if she dies first?
Well, then the kids get it, right?
Well, no, not well. Okay, see, Bill, that's the wrong way. The wrong way is to allow the state to dictate. Because when you say the kids get it, okay, what percentage do the kids get?
50-50.
Well, okay, are they happy with that?
Well, they never talked about it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. A will dispels every single question. And it's not going to cost that much to put it together. Not at all. Not for a small estate like yours.
Right. Okay. I'm just wondering.
Yeah, I think everyone needs a will. Absolutely everyone. Everyone needs a will, even a simple will. Miles, what is your question about? Miles?
Well, actually, it's more of a comment.
Yes, sir.
Since you're talking about gender identity and that kind of thing, a friend of mine ordered some shoes online, and he wears a men's size 10.
Okay.
And they shipped it to him, and they were way too small. So he called them up, and he goes, "Why are these too small?" And they said, "Oh, we have gender neutral sizing now. So if you wanted to size men 10, you had to order a size 12."
Are you kidding? Come on. I've never heard that.
I'm not kidding. I'm just saying it's getting way out of control. I don't care about anybody's gender or what they identify as, but come on.
Look, as far as Project 2025 and other policies and all of this, I don't think we need to be spending billions and billions of dollars, and we are, on gender inclusion and gender education around the world. And that's what we're doing and in our country. However, I do believe that people have a right. No, I am not against if people want to change their sex, let them do it. I don't think we should prevent them. And if insurance wants to pay for it and people are paying for insurance, let it happen. The question is, should government pay for that? In the military, should government pay for that? Or should we educate children at an early age? Oh, by the way, kids, if you want, you can switch what you are. I mean, all I'm saying is I'm not so sure that's the greatest thing in the world. But I do believe everyone has the right, freedom, and should be happy with whatever they want to be. I don't care if someone wants to be a hamster. If they're not hurting people, let them be hamsters. I don't care about furries. Honest to God, I don't. I don't really care about it. And I don't avoid those people. I don't avoid anyone. I think everyone has a right to be happy and secure and live the life they want. I don't want to control them, but I don't want them controlling me either.
But Tom, that's where it lies. The people, I agree with you, but when it comes to infringing on others' rights, and they talk about like girls' locker rooms, girls' restrooms, then that's where we have the problem.
I also have a problem when it comes to bottom line sports. Okay, you have girls who are always going to be weaker than transgender girls. Men who became they're always going to be weaker. It's just not fair. It's not because I hate them. I don't hate them at all. I just don't think maybe we should take all sex away from sport, all of them, and then people will get what they want. Take everything away. Everyone competes on an open field. And you know what? Then what would happen? Reality would set in, and they'd start saying, wait a minute, that's not fair. Girls will never win anything. Well, get the point. And how dare a judge ask someone before sentencing them, where do you want to go? This guy has been sporting a penis his whole life and then decides he wants to go to a woman's prison and rape women. And all he has to say, he has to show no medical, nothing. All he has to say is, I am a woman. And he goes to a woman's prison. That's frickin' stupid. That's frickin' stupid.
No, but the point is that you and I agree on that. You can be whatever you want as long as it doesn't trample on someone else's rights. And what would have happened, Tom, during the era of conscription, if some guy said, "You can't induct me into the army because I'm a woman"? Right?
You're right.
I mean, now, or else I go into a bar. Oh, it's ladies' night. Great. You know what?
Oh, no, you can't have ladies'
Call
night
me
anymore.
Gloria. I want a free drink.
Gloria, your Adam's apple is showing. Ho, 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 ho.
When you bundle your auto policy with home, condo, or renters, you'll earn a multi-policy discount. Easy to bundle, easy to save. Visit progressive.com. That's progressive.com.
You know, two companies that I truly believe in, QCcolorado.com. I mean, QC Colorado has done more to save me a ton of money. And then I love Red Rocks Roof and Solar. Red Rocks, they do solar systems that really are unbelievable when it comes to saving you money. You know, Brooke put it all together with Red Rocks. The financing, the tax credits, and then the grants even to get some of the commercial systems paid for 110%. If you want the bottom line on the latest and greatest in solar and 40% tax credits, not 30, 40 when you deal with them, then call redrocksrs.com, Red Rocks Roof and Solar, 303-704-2449. And then the other company I was talking about, QCcolorado.com, they have saved me a ton of money. I just loved it. I never dreamed when they put in my whole house fan, it was going to have the results it did. Okay? So the QC whole house fan, in a word, evens out temperatures. Well, I guess that's 3 words. And what it does is it makes the temperatures in your home more even without doing anything else, because it draws up the cooler air from lower levels, expels the hotter air through the attic. And what you then have is a more evenly controlled home, which makes your air conditioner work less. That's the short version. Okay. Now you can use it in many different ways. Like some people used to leave their air on during the day, so when they get home, they only have to turn it down just a little to get it a little cooler. But you don't have to do any of that. Let your house bake all day if you want. When you get home, you turn on this whole house fan. It cools it down instantly, gets rid of all that heat, and then you start your air. You can do it like that, or you can run it in the morning, in the evening. I run it on low speed, sometimes all day, depending on the day. You need to contact them. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to benefit you no matter what. QCcolorado.com, 303-800-3419, 800-3419. But you ever found that people are so, I mean, they want to control every fucking aspect of your thing.
Well, that's the difference between the Democrat and Republican Party. The Democrats believe that they know best, and Republicans say, well, do it on your own. The reach of the regulatory agencies has gotten out of control under the Democratic administrations.
Republicans want people to run their own lives.
Yeah.
They don't want government interference.
The 16th Amendment has caused immeasurable difficulty in this country. The idea that government has the right to do what they think, quote, for the common good, has been interpreted by the courts in a very broad sense that almost anything that the government wants to do is covered under that provision of the 16th Amendment.
This is one of the best surveys I've ever seen in my life.
What's that?
It's called, it's about the quality of life. I got to get this URL and send it to myself. It's one of, I'm telling you, one of the best I've ever seen. I'm gonna. You can rank. It's a survey. I got to send it to myself first. I want to make sure I keep this.
What's a survey on, Tom? Life?
On everything. And you can rank them by anything you, I'm going to do this for myself first. Let me just send this to me so I have it. But when it's just the most amazing page. it's a list of all surveys of all different topics, and then you pick the category you want to rank something with the cities by. It's just an amazing. I'm just sending it to myself so I don't lose it. I'll give you an example. Like if you want to know, like quality of life, you want to know environmental rank, you want to know air, you want to know housing and infrastructure, you want to know healthcare, you want to know physical health ranking. If you want to know, what's good?
Is it
mental health rank, economic stability. If you want to know.
Dream of owning an electric SUV come true today. The ideal shopping experience awaits you with a personal test drive at 6060 South Broadway in Littleton or visit AudiDenver.com.
630 KHOW, an iHeart radio station.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. I ran across a survey done by, it's called Life Rankings. And, you know, you can get into the methodology if you want. I've always found some of these survey companies to be very accurate in that they take matrices that they survey and don't really put opinion in there. Let me give you an example. This one list of surveys, it's called City Rankings. And what they do is they have a category that you can rank a city by, any category you want of their matrices. And what do they have? Well, they have, first of all, the overall rank. Then they have the environmental rank, air and water quality, housing, healthcare, physical health of people, mental health of people, economic stability, employment, housing affordability, safety, education, leisure time, recreational facilities, and on and on and on. So you can actually rank cities by individual items that are important to you.
Is it only U.S. cities, Tom?
Yes. Now, here's what I like. So then they do an overall ranking of the best quality of life. Now, this is kind of strange. So they take all those matrices I told you about, like 24 different categories, and they take all those categories and then give an overall rank. And they say that, I have never heard of this city, but Mark, you're not far from it. Redmond, Washington. Were you anywhere near Redmond, Washington? You went up to the northwest anyway.
Near Oregon.
So Redmond, Washington has the number one quality of life according to all these matrices.
That's where Microsoft's out of.
Oh, really? Okay. Newton, Massachusetts is number 2. Now, Newton is a small town up near Boston, outlier in Boston. I believe it's where Boston College is out there. So Newton, number 2 in the entire country. Woodbury, Minnesota. And then another one is Bellevue, Washington. Again, I'm not going to go through each and every one, but where is any city in Colorado? Number 10 was the first time Colorado showed up. By the way, just so you know, in the top 10, there were 2 from Washington State, 2 from Minnesota, and 3 from California. And then you had 2 with only 1 in there. You had Indiana has Carmel, and then Colorado, the number 1 city in Colorado, according to this, and then the top 10 in the country is Castle Rock. Castle Rock, that's odd. So then a number of other California cities, again, I can't believe with the economic stability, but maybe because the income's so high, they don't care about the tax burden and all that. Again, I'm trying to find another Colorado city down here, and I'm looking at the top. I mean, it goes down to, Centennial, Colorado shows up at number 40. So you had Castle Rock at number 10, and then you don't get another ranking until 40, which is Centennial. And then it goes back down to Broomfield, Colorado is 44. Believe it or not, Boulder is down at 48. You would think Boulder would have been maybe a little higher.
I'm impressed by Castle Rock coming in at 10, man. That's cool.
No, I know it. Now, again,
I lived there for years.
I did not examine the total methodology. It looks like surveys and actual data as far as healthcare and all that, hospitalizations, death rates, all of that. Again, Colorado doesn't show up again. Wait, Denver is 100, which is, not terrible because they rank all the way down to, oh my God, I think 500. So it's really a very interesting matrix here. By the way, Dragon, it's foolish of me to think I'm caught up on breaks, isn't it? Is it foolish or am I? I need to, right? Damn. Okay. Because I want to tell you about some of the subcategories here and how we rank. But in any case, get your calls in. We have another hour to go after this one, of course, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255.
I've gotten a couple of calls, and, they take a good 10 minutes out of your time. So I think that there's some self-selection in these surveys because a lot of people, I think it's skewed as to who takes these surveys because of the time involved and the patience.
Yeah, I never participated in them. I don't have time. It's probably different.
If they call me up in the evening and I'm sort of doing nothing, I'll take the survey. But all I'm saying is I think that it's a small subset of the population that has either the time or the inclination to go through these surveys.
How do they call you, Doc? Do you pick up random numbers?
Occasionally. Yeah, because I never know if someone's calling from the station. One of the people that we, but even before that, when I was working, I always picked it up because I never knew if it could be a patient or, my answering service.
O'Brien Legal Services can keep you out of trouble when it comes to real estate, especially if you're entering a closing and you want someone to go over your docs. Maybe you're doing a complicated financing deal, seller financing, or maybe you're selling and you want to finance it for someone who's buying it. Whatever it is, you need the expertise of a real estate attorney who deals in those things. What if you're in commercial real estate and you need some help, or you have you're a big landlord? Whatever it is, O'Brien Legal Services can help you. Really, border disputes, anything to do with real estate, that's olslaw.com. OLS, that stands for O'Brien Legal Services, olslaw.com, 720-370-7388. Euro Plumbing Colorado. When I say that, I hope by now you say savings. EuroPlumbingColorado.net. That's Euro Plumbing. Savings. Now, what Euro Plumbing does is anything to do with water heaters, they'll save you money, and anything to do with any plumbing repair, they'll save you money. Water heater starting at $13.99 for a 40-gallon tank, fully installed with the old one taken out and hauled away. 50 gallons, only $14.99. Give them a call, 303-668-6844. People are looking for honesty and skill when it comes to auto repair, and thank goodness we have both of those with SheridanAutotech.com. Honesty and skill. Now let me add some value and convenience and longevity. He's on Colfax west of Wadsworth, well worth the drive. He does electrical issues as well, plus even used car checkouts. If you're looking for a used car, they do a checkout for just a little over $100. It's really a great service. That's SheridanAutotech.com, 303-455-7242. Today is Wednesday.
You coming in tomorrow too, Tom?
I don't know.
Sherry, that Bill Gates house there, I've seen it on the news. It's like across a river or some body of water. That thing's a compound. That thing is gorgeous. Or at least it was when I saw it 20, 30 years ago on TV. I'm gonna get that audio book of Vance. What do you buy it? Do you see if it's on our subscription with audio or either Audible or doesn't Amazon have that shit too, or is that just paper? Okay. hillbilly.
Yay, go A-Rod.
Yeah. You sure it doesn't? You sure none of our shit includes it, though? No, I'm saying on part of our Prime membership.
You know, it's a testament, man, to my brother that at 83 years old, after abusing the shit out of himself, I don't think he ever went a day without doing something bad to his body.
Kindle.
Do you know that?
He even did that during when he was a hotshot car salesman.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's a long time. You said he smoked like a chimney.
Man, you know that dude's getting rich as hell off that book right now.
He might have not in the nursing home for the last.
Oh, he was in a nursing home. Huh?
Only for 2 months now. I don't know. I think it was 2 months, maybe.
All the liberals loved him. Loved him.
Did your sisters go in quite a bit and check him, help him out?
Unfortunately, because they were down there in Florida, it fell on them.
Yeah, it fell on them to take care of him. You have two sisters took care of him.
Yeah, one was a year younger than him, a year and a half. Another one is about
They did the yeoman's work then.
4 years younger. Yeah, sisters always seem to pick up the slack, don't they? At least in my
I love
family.
my sister. Yeah. They do. Women always are the caregivers in the end.
So this guy's only 39 years old. Shit.
Tommy's right out of law school. I think he's only been out of law school 2 years.
And hasn't he only been in the Congress too?
I don't think he is in that long. Maybe a year because he's been out of law school. I don't know why.
10 seconds, guys.
Can't win, and Trump's soaring? Is Colorado now in play in this cycle and in the future? Join me at 4.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Woo! If you want to call, we got only a few minutes this hour, but we have another hour to go. And some of the notable calls today, it's let me go to some texts here. Anyway, someone says that it's wrong to talk about Project 2025 because I don't know what they mean by this, because it's an election year with Trump. And they said, like, RFK has a long established history of being a proponent of the environment. So it would be like discussing RFK Jr. while reading the Unabomber's manifesto. See, I don't get what he's talking about. Are you saying by reading from Project 2025, I'm somehow inferring that Trump is part of it? I'm not. He said some proponents of the environment. He's making no sense to me. So, and anyway.
Hey, Suzanne and I, just a side note, you said Unabomber. We were in Lincoln, and that's where he was from, man. Ted Kaczynski's little house, that whole thing was right in that town.
What, did they memorialize it somehow? Is it like a landmark of some kind? No, seriously.
Seriously, we didn't even know it was till we got to our next destination, Folsom Lake, and a listener took us out on his pontoon boat and asked us the last place we went to, and we said it was Lincoln, and he goes, oh, that's where the Unabomber's from, his shack and everything.
So did you actually see his shack?
No, when we were there, we didn't know, nor would I go out of my way to see Ted Kaczynski's shack.
All right. Well, anyway, we got more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show. 303-713-8255. Get your calls in, or, of course, you can call 303-MARTINO.
Woohoo!
Hey, Dragon.
Yo.
Did the news already break when Brown was on that the parents called the cops on that shooter?
No, we didn't have that info.
I wonder if he'll start going from that, these guys did a horrible job to conspiracist.
Don't know.
I don't know where that line is.
How could they possibly ignore that call? That's what amazes me.
Well, we don't know if they ignored it.
Well, obviously they did because he was able to shoot the president.
Obviously, they didn't take it very seriously.
That's what I'm talking about.
And the parents.
I'm wondering if the local cops, whoever they called, I mean, did they call 911 and then did it get from the local cops to someone that was there? I mean, who the hell knows, Doc?
Well, I think that
it's baffling how bad the Secret Service did. It's absolutely baffling, and I find it, I'm not going to say, I don't think they were, like, involved in the shooting, but, God, they made it pretty damn easy, didn't they?
Well, it'll be interesting to talk about whether there's a difference in attitude depending on who the president is.
And why wouldn't they fire this gal that runs it, man? I mean, this is like crazy. They didn't fire one general either, leaving Afghanistan, got those 13 soldiers killed.
Oh, this gal's going
Heads
to
don't
leave.
roll here, man. The only way a head rolls, well, I'm not going to go there.
Is if ISIS does it.
Yeah, the Secret Service needs to share their radio frequencies with the local law enforcement. I don't even think they do that when they come to Denver.
Bo, they're not going to share shit.
That's their problem. They think they're the big boss and can do it all themselves.
Well, no, the problem is the big boss already knows, and I'm guessing if the rest of us knew, holy crap. You're assuming what first of all, I don't know what you're assuming, but I know she's heard everything. She probably knows where all the failures are, and they're trying to figure out how to cover some of them up.
Yeah, and wasn't she a Biden appointee, that lady?
Oh, yeah, of course.
She needs to leave. They'll let her. They'll fire her.
He probably doesn't. Well, I'm sure he doesn't remember he hired her.
It's true. It's true. I don't know how the kid had a ladder too. Why didn't they notice a ladder on the building? It's a dead giveaway. You should check it out.
Yeah, that's another good point. He went to Home Depot and bought a ladder. He's got a damn ladder.
And he's dragging it around and putting it up against the building, and people saw him put the ladder up. I think the citizens called. They made, remember the one citizen said, "Hey, buddy."
Talk closer to the mic, Bo.
Oh, hey, buddy. The citizens were saying, "Hey, buddy." I mean, buddy, they're referring to the cops. "Hey, buddy, take a look up here. This guy's on the roof." Okay, well, we'll look.
Yeah, and then,
We'll
course,
go to the
they
donut shop first. No, I'm just
before he walked in through the metal detectors, I mean, he didn't because everybody was suspicious, and they were talking about that, and that was like a half hour, an hour before. The timeline's incredible, all the blunders.
Yeah, wasn't it 23 minutes before he? Well, you said, Mark, did you mention the parents called into the law enforcement about it?
Yeah, that was hours before. I mean, the headline is this. Trump shooter's parents called law enforcement just hours before assassination attempt.
Hours. God,
that's headlines on Fox.
Wow, that's embarrassing.
But my favorite headline of the day, and I'll go back to Biden possibly being the worst president ever, is first of all, Matt Drudge hates Trump. Almost every single headline up until the shooting is negative Trump. Now the headline, poll, every other Dem candidate outperforms Biden. Schiff passed the torch.
Yeah.
And these people hate
Matt Drudge
Trump.
doesn't own the Drudge Report anymore.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
How come? What is their beef about? Do you know, Dragon?
No
Whatever
idea.
happened?
Bought by a
What do you mean?
outfit.
What do you mean about Dredge?
Matt Drudge absolutely loved Trump at one point, and then something changed.
What changed?
I don't know. He hates him. I think Megyn Kelly actually did a documentary on it, but I never watched it.
Huh.
Now, there's a name you haven't heard for a while, huh?
Oh, I hear about Megyn Kelly all the time from Stephanie.
Do you really? I've always liked her, but she's nothing mainstream anymore. I
Oh,
don't
my
see her.
God. She's got a ton of followers, a ton.
Her and Carlson should do something together.
Good
Hell,
idea.
they might be for all I know.
Good idea, actually. Really good idea. I wonder if they ever thought about it.
I always think.
Yeah, talk about okie dokie your career, though. I mean, she had it made in the shade on Fox. And would she go over to CBS or
but
ABC?
She didn't even say anything. What's really weird is that when they fired her from NBC, she went from Fox to NBC.
And what'd they fire her for?
Okay. She said during this, there was something, they had a discussion about blackface, where actors said they caught a couple putting on blackface and what it was during Halloween, people wearing black. And she said, when I was growing up, there was nothing wrong with blackface. What she meant was people did it all the time. She didn't mean there was nothing wrong with it then. She meant...
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, but they said, how dare you say there was nothing wrong with it? It's always been wrong. And she didn't mean it that. She clearly meant that people wouldn't come down on you for it back then. And people did it all the time. And actors did it. Singers and dancers did it. So she was fired for it.
Jimmy Kimmel.
I hate to say it. I knew nothing about even blackface even 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I literally have never heard of it, didn't know what the hell it was. Maybe 15 years. I mean, that's kind of, I understand, very naive, but just had no idea.
All right, 10 seconds, guys.
Cash. That's cash. Enter it now at khow.com. Inflation salvation on 630 KHOW.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hi, Tom Martino here. 303-713-TALK is our number, 713-8255. This hour brought to you by RenewHomeInnovations.com for beautiful, beautiful showers. They take out that old, ugly rectangle shub, I call it, the shower tub combo, and they put in a beautiful custom shower. That's the trend nowadays. They can make them with stone walls, with resin, no maintenance. Glass, the thick glass panels in the front, no doors needed. And then no thresholds to stumble over it. They're wonderful. RenewHomeInnovations.com. They do it in 2 or 3 days with 72 months to pay, no interest. 303-904-2000. So one of the things that I find really strange is during COVID, you couldn't buy certain things and you couldn't read about certain things because it was going against the narrative and by the way, they thought they were doing good, possibly. It went against the narrative of the vaccine, especially. So if the vaccine was attacked in any way, shape, or form, it was taken off of social media. And then also anything that was considered dangerous, and they would say it was due to danger, consumer safety. Yet there is a trend now. People are buying on Amazon all day long something called sodium nitrate, which is what? What basically is that, Doc? Sodium nitrate. I don't know. It's a powder. Yeah. Well, guess what? It's sodium nitrate is a compound, I'm reading here, that is used in food preservation, automotive maintenance, whatever the hell, and animal control. Now, potentially fatal when digested because it interferes with the red blood cells to transport oxygen. Basically, if you have too much of it, you don't get enough oxygen and you fall asleep. I guess when you're deprived of oxygen, you don't always choke and gasp, do you? Okay, so they're using it for, guess what? Teens in record numbers are ordering it for suicide.
Really?
There have been several cases of suicide where the sodium nitrates have been traced to a purchase on Amazon. Now, some people have tried suing Amazon because of this, and they've not been held responsible.
That's absurd. It's absolutely absurd.
That they would go after Amazon?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, sodium nitrate is a chemical. You might as well.
No, I know. I get it. I get it, because you're
crazy.
right. No, I don't think Amazon. But it's amazing to me, though, that you couldn't buy, what was it? There were certain things you couldn't buy during COVID because they were afraid people were overusing it. But you can buy, it was some horse stuff.
Invectin.
Was it?
Ivermectin, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was for the horse, so it didn't need a prescription. And anyway, they wouldn't be allowed to sell it, but they will allow you to kill yourself with sodium nitrates. But this thing is a big deal right now. Also, new trends in construction. There are stats showing that new homes. You remember now? You remember it was, if you had a big giant home, it was a symbol of being rich, being symbol of being successful.
McMansions, they call them.
Yeah. And there were a lot of them. There are a lot of them. Look all over Greenwood Village, Cherry Hills. Look at all over the big, what I call the big house subdivisions. And then you have the smaller, more luxurious homes when you get closer to Denver in tight neighborhoods where they were small and then they redo them. And then some of them do infill projects where they tear down a house and put up a new mansion. But
that was big in Hilltop, tearing down Hilltop and building a new home.
Oh, yeah. But right now, and that isn't Hilltop what they call Pill Hill?
I don't know.
You know what that meant, right? All the doctors lived up there. Anyway.
I know a lot of them that do.
Construction spending is starting to increase. I don't know why with the interest rates. But right now, the building permits are not lagging that much, but the houses being built are smaller in general, and people buying homes, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, people are seeking lower square footage now rather than higher square footage. Now, there are many reasons given for it. One is cost of maintenance, of heating, of air, of all of that. That's the number one. Well, when I say maintenance, it's not just maintenance to repair, but also just to maintain the lifestyle in a large home. So large homes are trending out.
It's got to be also the interest rate has to have something to do with it, Tom.
I don't know if it does, but it might. But it's been happening. It's been happening gradually. I think utilities are, in my opinion, I think interest rates, of course, the cost. But you see, they're not necessarily cutting back in cost. They're cutting back in size. Now, obviously, cost has something to do. What I mean by that, Doc, let me clarify that. Per square foot. It is a cheaper home, obviously, when it's smaller. But the quality, they still seem to be going for the quality, but not necessarily the size. And I think they don't cite why, but they say there's a number of factors. I think one of the big reasons would be the cost of heating and air. I mean, utilities, electricity itself, right? And obviously, they say a more attainable price point. But another thing, people want to be environmentally conscious, and they are looking to lessen their carbon footprint. Now, honest to God, I don't know about carbon footprint. I really don't. I don't know what my carbon footprint is. I don't know what yours is. Do people actually keep track of their carbon footprint? I mean, I truly don't know how to calculate it.
Nobody I know does, Tom.
But I mean, I imagine there are people who care. So I would like to know. I'm going to ask artificial intelligence here. How do I calculate my carbon footprint. Have you ever calculated yours, Mark, in that big giant motorhome that eats up diesel fuel all over the country? How do I calculate?
Only when I'm pouring oil directly outside and running over trees.
How do I calculate Okay, I'm asking this now. I'm asking, how do I calculate my carbon footprint? And I'm going to find out. Okay.
What size shoe do you wear?
There is a footprint calculator. There's a carbon footprint calculator. And I'm going to look it up. There's also My Climate Footprint Calculator and carbonfootprint.com. All places you can get an idea. Deputy Chopper, what's going on with you, sir?
Well, Tom, this is a personal problem, so
yeah, well, you can call just like anyone. You actually earn the right to do that. What's going on?
Well, over the last 3-4 years, we have been hit really hard with hail, and we've made 2 claims to Safeco. Well, yesterday I got the infamous letter, "We're dropping you."
Oh, wait, you're from your homeowners?
Yes, from my homeowners.
What were the 2 claims?
Yes, two claims.
What were they?
It was roofs, siding, everything, paint. Genesis took care of us.
That was for hail. What was the other claim?
It was hail. Both of them were hail.
Within how long?
Probably within, I think, 3 years. We had to have 2 roofs within 3 years.
Oh, my God. Yep, you're a hot spot. They're getting rid of you.
So I was wondering, is this kind of like, when an old girlfriend drops you, you're done? Or is there any recourse?
You mean like, will other girls be attracted to you? Or you mean, can you force them to renew you? No, you can't. And
that's what I was wondering.
No, there is no forced renewal. You can't force a company to keep you. But I think, now I don't like a lot of government regulation, but I will tell you this. The only industry in the world that I believe should be regulated more than any other industry, if I had to pick one, like who should be regulated, it's insurance. Insurance is a nasty, dirty, disgusting business, and it's just not a good thing. It's become mandatory because we can't sustain some of these losses on our own. But in my opinion, it is an immoral industry. It is predicated on not paying justifiably for losses. It is predicated on trying to keep as much and make as much profit and screw the owners. And I hate it. Well,
Tom, they didn't have any problem taking my money for 23 years.
That's what I'm getting at. I think personally that there should be some kind of legislation or requirements that if they take your money for a certain number of years, they have to take it after that for the same number of years after what would be a cancelable event. So if
my God, I'm turning over in my soon-to-be grave.
I don't care. I don't care what you're doing. I'm saying that.
Well, I sure wouldn't invest in any companies that do that.
And I'm glad you wouldn't, because first of all, I don't believe insurance companies should be publicly traded, because I think that is another incentive to screw the policyholder.
But they are.
Yeah, but not all of them. But you're right, they are, many of them. And I think that insurance companies, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I believe insurance companies of any industry should be one that is nonprofit. Because the profit incentive for insurance, not for other companies, for insurance is an automatic incentive not to pay just claims automatically. And it shouldn't be. Not in health, not in casualty. We are pooling our money together. We're pooling it. And what we should do with that pooled money is use it to pay claims and to invest wisely. What they have been doing, though, in the insurance industry is more than that. They're pooling other people's money together to make gross profits for themselves and to increase their stock values and not to serve the people who pay the premiums. Now, no other companies do that. They couldn't stay in business doing it. But because insurance has become mandatory, we have fallen for this faulted model. We would never do that with a car. We would never do that with any other product that we buy if their incentive is to not give you everything you paid for. That is exactly opposite of, let's say, the auto industry. They try to over-deliver value for you. They don't try to under-deliver. Every year they look to improve. The insurance industry is the only industry that every year they look to diminish coverage. It's the only industry that looks to do less and make more. The only one. Now, there's nothing, and now auto and everyone else, they do want to make more. Nothing wrong with it, but they deliver more for it. The insurance industry,
one more thing, Tom?
The insurance industry wants to deliver less and get more. The only industry that does that. What? Go ahead.
One more thing, Tom. I don't want Mark to roll over in his grave, but hail damage I thought was always considered, that's not your fault.
Well, that's true too. They're saying you're in a high risk area. They're not blaming you for it. But and really, look, there is something to be said about high risk versus low risk and all that. But when you aggregate losses, okay, and you have two losses, let's say you've had two losses in how many years you've been with them? How many years? And then you're canceled. Now, to me, that's not proper. That's my opinion. It's not proper. Again, insurance is the only
There's a
industry.
lot of companies that have decided not to write anything in California. We just won't do it. I just don't have a problem with that. If they're losing money in California, they shouldn't be forced to write a policy in California.
Okay.
I think the company needs to make that decision.
Okay, that's right. The way they're structured now, they have to make a decision. But when you say losing money, they're not losing money. They're losing value. They're not net subtracting money. They're not literally going into the red.
They are in that location, arguably. I don't know their numbers.
What they're losing is value and investment and profit. That's what they did lose compared to the year previously. They're not going into the red. They're not literally going into the red. What I'm saying is the whole idea of insurance is to be aggregated. So the places having losses, the places not having losses make up for it. Again, you're right. The way it's structured now, every company has a right to say, I can do business or not. What I'm saying is the entire function of the industry is too important not to be heavily regulated. Too important. It is. It's too ubiquitous, and it's become mandatory. It's just a ridiculous notion.
Do we need something like the FDIC?
I don't. But I think there needs to be.
Yeah, we don't need more government in anything.
Well, Tom is saying that we do.
I'm talking about a nonprofit structured company that simply does exactly the same thing except make profit. The profit incentive, when you look at a claim, you don't say to yourself, no, we're not going to play 100%. Every claim they look at, they never want to play. That's why they have things called adjusters. Now, I'm not saying when they become nonprofit, they should play every cockamamie claim or fraudulent claims. Again, don't go there. I am saying legitimate claims every single day are turned down by insurance or underestimated by insurance for the mere purpose of more profit. You never have to feel sorry for insurance. They are immoral and corrupt. They have inserted themselves into our economy and have absolutely made money off the misery of others.
Life can
Fuck, because that's one area where we should not have people saying, if I pay this whole claim for this little old fucking lady, I'm going to lose money. Well, fuck you. You should lose. Because who gives a fuck if you make profit?
Well, who sets up that now? Is the government?
Well, I don't know. I mean, Kaiser did its own.
Kaiser has a good plan.
They have a wonderful model. Now, they can be corrupted too, but not like regular insurance. Discount bath. Those words I love, discount bath, because baths are considered expensive. By the way, baths can sell a home. You can get a half bath, a full bath, a master bath, whatever you need at discount prices with Discount Bath. And they mean it. They're so confident. They give you prices up front. They'll talk to you on the phone. They have an app to show you what it'll look like. And then you get to help design it. You will love doing business with them. They're totally transparent on the entire process. You should call them right now. There's no obligation ever to get your exact prices and details. DiscountBath.com. 720-979-2322. 720-979-2322. And for a limited time, when you contract with them, they will do all of the tear out and haul away at no extra cost. It's built into the price, meaning they don't charge for it, only for the new stuff. 720-979-2322, discountbath.com. Hey, The Art of Granite, speaking of which, they do countertops and vanities and everything you need when it comes to stone and countertops of quartz and quartzite, man-made or natural stone, and they do it at wholesale prices for materials, and you only pay the upcharge for fabrication and installation, and that is an incredible savings, so much so they'll give you prices on the phone. And one other thing, if you can find stuff in their remnant yard, they'll give you the materials free. 303-386-5919, theartofgranite.com. No one wants to get injured. No one loves court. No one likes to sue. And you know what? When you have John Fuller, he'll do it all for you at a percentage fee basis. You should never be taken advantage of when it comes to this kind of injury. But so many insurance companies, again, or other people try to take advantage of you. John Fuller has pledged he will only take the number of cases that he will work personally. And he means it, because each and every client gets his cell phone number. And it's actually his cell phone number that you can call or text at any time. If you need help, you'll notice the difference when you talk to John. 303-597-4500. 597-4500, myaccidentlawyer.co. Can we get Compass on? I want to talk about that.
Tom, what I was saying was, if you have something like the FDIC has certain regulations for banks, but the bank's still allowed to make a profit. If you had something like that for insurance companies,
Yeah, but no, it wouldn't work, because
Why?
the FDIC really doesn't have that many regulations for banks. The FDIC only regulates how they can loan out that money, what multiples they can loan out, and all.
It's not how they can loan out. It's how much they need in reserve.
That's what I mean. How much they can loan out, multiples.
And the government will cover for them.
Will only cover up to $250,000
Well,
per.
come on.
But they.
So have something like that for insurance.
But that doesn't address the problem of the.
Hey,
profit
Dragon, I'm
incentive.
out,
It
brother.
doesn't
All right,
address
see you,
it.
buddy.
Hey, don't
The
forget to
whole
disconnect.
idea is, if
Already
they
did,
pay out
Kelly.
This much
Please,
in
thank
claims,
you.
They're going to make this much in profit, and the less they pay out here, the more profit they make.
So you control the profit that they're allowed to make.
Like a utility company like Excel.
I mean,
But you could cap profits, but then again, I think capping profit incentive disincentivize. I see, if you start out nonprofit and you pay people to run it good salaries that are really smart fucking people, there's never an incentive to make profit. If you disincentivize by limiting profit, I think that's worse than being nonprofit from the get-go.
I don't know.
I mean, if you know you're going into something nonprofit and you run it and you're a CEO and you're making good money, but you know it's nonprofit, I think that's way better than getting into some half-assed version of it, hybrid, where you can only make a certain amount of money. Because when you make that much money, then what? What happens?
Then you
next?
pay out the claims.
You know what I'm saying is, when you make
money to pay out the claims.
Why do anything when you make that much money? Why bother? I think it would disincentivize them from getting more customers, even, because if they can only make a certain amount of money, they will never have more insured than they need, ever. They won't serve the greater population. I know if I could only make $1 million in profit, once I got there, why the fuck would I care if I got new customers? Would you care?
Right.
I wouldn't get one new client.
If you got all the money you need, you don't need.
And
to
you
go
know you
after it.
can't make any more.
Yep, you're limited.
I was just tossing out the idea. To see.
But no. But there were some people who said one time.
10 seconds,
I remember them
guys.
saying that people should be.
Advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Denver's talk station. Online at khout.com.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Do you want to calculate your carbon footprint? You can. It's free. All you have to do is put in your stuff. You tell them where you live. I got one right here, and you can calculate your footprint. Then, if that's not good enough, you can also offset that footprint by buying what I call guilt credits. So you can buy credits after calculating what you have done to the environment to offset it. So that's why people can have a jet, because all of the pollution that they contribute to the environment, they can offset by buying. So what is a carbon offset? You can buy money that goes toward planting trees, or you can do something else that would be considered net positive. So for your net negative, you add a net positive. So I'm going to do a carbon footprint for me right here, right now. Right now. I'm doing it right now. I'm putting in my information as I do it. Wants to know, first of all, your name, your zip code, how many people in the household. And then you hit that. Then it starts asking all about your home, your energy, what kind of gas, what kind you have and how much you pay. And I can't do that while I'm talking to you. But then after that, you put down, what temperatures you use, and then what kind of lighting you have. And then do you have solar or what else you have? Then when do you do your wash? How many times a day? Do you use cold water or hot water? What Energy Star products do you have? Then it continues to transportation. It wants to know how many vehicles and how much you spend on maintenance, how much gas you use, how many miles you drive, if you have an EV, blah, blah, blah. Again, I can't do this while I'm talking to you, but it tells you what the averages are. And then you continue to waste. What kind of waste do you have? Do you recycle? And how much do you recycle? And then it talks about, that's it. Then you can calculate. And when you calculate, it comes up with a number. And then if you wish to offset it, you can offset it to make you feel less guilty. And to offset it, you pay a certain amount of money to buy these net positive things for the environment. Now, here's what I want to say. I really mean this. I truly believe that we should take really good care of our environment. Trust me. I mean, I really believe that. But see, the carbon emissions versus our environment are not directly connected. But we really should try to clean up air and water as much as we can. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a wonderful thing. We should be good stewards of the environment, right? So what I'd like to know is, do you personally make decisions based on that? Now, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Some other stuff I want to talk about. I got some texts here. Somebody said that on a will that you don't have to have it dated, when I said you do. And I think you do. Now, I'm actually, though, I can't tell you that I got that from our attorney. So could we get one of our estate attorneys on very quickly about dating? Because this person who texted me doubted you had to have the original copy and that you had to have a date.
Well, Tom, look at it this way. If you and I both have copies of the will, and you say, well, yours supersedes mine, I say, no, Tom, mine supersedes yours. How would you settle that without dates on the document?
That's true. I mean,
I can't imagine dates not being pertinent.
I would think so. Now, let's talk about a matrix. I talked about this super matrix on ranking cities, the most affordable housing in the entire country, if you want to move there right now. Jonesboro, Arkansas, the most affordable housing anywhere. Also, next to that, Bismarck, North Dakota, and then Cedar Rapids, Iowa, Sandy Springs, Georgia. So there are a lot of affordable places to live where homes can still be purchased for $100,000. or less. Can you believe that? Now, Brian Burns is with us from Compass Insurance Group. Brian, we were talking about insurance in general. I wanted to ask a couple of questions when it came to companies. Are there any mutual insurance companies still around where
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
And that's where the policy owners, they own the company. Is that right?
That's right. Yep. It's not on the stock exchange. It doesn't have investors from the outside.
Okay. So with a mutual company, when you own it and you're a policy holder, who makes what happens to profits? Are they put back into the company then to make the insurance more affordable?
Yeah, I mean that's the thought process behind it.
I mean, is there any, because there's no one person that profits from the profit if it's mutual. If it's mutual, it's owned by the policyholders, right?
Right. Yeah, and a lot of it can go back into reserves as well, obviously, because you have a certain amount of money you have to keep in reserves, and the more you have, the higher the rated carrier, that kind of thing. So
now, do mutual companies act the same way as other publicly traded profit-hungry companies, like, for example, and I'm not saying they're not all profit-hungry, and I don't want to talk about profit like it's evil, except in insurance, I think it is. But when it comes to mutual versus regular insurance companies, I don't know if you even know this or if it can be known, but do publicly traded companies have maybe lower thresholds before they cancel people?
I have not seen any evidence of that. I see it. I mean, and I have mutual companies that we write for, and I have, stock-driven companies that we write for. I don't see any difference. As a matter of fact, one of the mutual companies we write for has been the most severe as far as shutting down writing business over the last couple of years. Yeah, I mean, they were the first to pull the plug, and they have just not written anything.
But do the mutual holders get a say in all of that since they are a voter?
Well, whenever you're writing up the policy, you do have an option to opt in or opt out for the voting rights, and I usually opt everybody in just so they do it, but I doubt many people take the time to do it.
Okay, so basically it's going to the proxied voters.
That's right. Yep.
That's very interesting. Give me I want to ask you some examples. I have to take a break, but this is a fascinating topic because I also want to ask you about being canceled and being, your policy's canceled for a couple claims. What's the usual criteria? And can you fight that actually and get reinstated?
Dropper needs to have Encompass come out and give him a bid.
You would think mutual companies would have less of a cancellation.
Was it?
You would think mutual companies, by their sheer, they're not even traded, would have a.
They have more dedication to the policy holder because the policy holder is actually a part owner of the company.
Yeah, but he says they're just as severe. Keelan Park are estate planning attorneys that I hope you never need, but everyone needs them. Of course, we're not immortal. But, that's what I say about personal injury, and that's what I say about defense attorneys. But with Keelan Park, you will need them. And what I want you to do is not be rushed and harried, but really be thoughtful about your estate plan. And here's what's great about the way they do business. They will look over everything you have, everything you own, everything you're invested in, all of your collectibles. And then what they'll do is give you flat rate pricing on their suggestions. You can't do it any other way. It's such an easy way to do business. A complimentary review and then flat rate pricing. So I urge you to call them and get started. Keel and Park. And even though I hope you don't need them, you will need them someday. LawKP.com. 970-818-8198. 970-818-8198.
Doc, wasn't that funny? He was up there on the stage. He was like a ghost.
Yeah.
Who was that?
Biden.
He was like he was performing some seance or something. I mean, he just didn't know what
What are you talking about?
he was.
He looks like an old guy. He's hunched over.
He
with,
does. He
He was
does.
up on stage and they were talking to him, and he was like, he looked like a deer in the headlights in his hand.
Then he has this new thing where he goes and he goes,
I'm
not going to tell you that.
Right.
He goes,
Yeah, that whispering is creepy when he whispers. And he always says, guess what? It's no joke. We're doing better than any other president in history.
I know that now. How the fuck do you say that?
I hate it when he says no joke. I'm sick of it.
It's so late to change.
I mean, I hope he runs, because then it'll be a cakewalk for Trump.
I don't think it will be actually, but
Oh, we need to reverse this progressive.
no, I know, but I don't think. I think the worst thing in the world is to think it's going to be a cakewalk.
A cakewalk for, you mean if
Because
he
I think
stays?
a lot of Republicans will stay home. Yeah.
Oh, if Biden stays in?
Yep.
I don't
You think
agree.
it'll be worse, Tom, if Biden...
No. I think that if Biden runs, the mistake would be assuming Trump's going to win.
I think they're going to get out the vote.
Sorry, I didn't mean to exclude you. You know, Mark? Is he gone? Mark's gone. Ah, crap. All right.
What did you get for me?
Red Lobster cheddar baked biscuit.
Yeah, every day is getting worse for him.
I have a question I'd love to ask Don Fuller when he's here next time. If somebody cuts you off in road rage and brake checks you,
My Red Lobster.
it's a no-brainer.
If
You
you can prove it, I think you'd have.
no, I'm saying if you have a dash cam. I just got one installed, Tom, front and back view.
We're buds.
But let's say somebody does
BFFs
that,
forever.
okay? And then
Probably the only.
you're on the highway and everybody goes up to normal highway speed, and they slam their brakes on for no reason, and you hit them. Who's at fault? Is it your fault for not staying far back enough, or their fault for brake checking you for no reason?
Well, I think brake checking would be a sheer act of negligence, in my opinion.
Holy crap.
It's nap time.
Is it though?
Feels like it should be. But no, I are bad at physical therapy.
Is the state attorney coming on?
Excuse me?
Is the estate attorney coming on the air to talk about
mean
the
special torture?
dating of the will?
Oh,
Is it expert?
none of our state people are around, right?
They're not answering. I
I
have
think, Tom, it's a
I have
common
feelers
sense
out
answer.
to all of them, but they're not
If the will
answering.
isn't-
So
If the will
If
isn't-
it's not dated, how the fuck do you ever validify it? I mean, validate.
well, if there's no other will, I think it's only a problem if there are conflicting wills.
Yeah, how do you know one supersedes the other? But what about these wills that are written on a napkin and they get approved over like an 80-page? Or maybe the napkin will's dated.
oh, this computer just absolutely blows my mind sometimes.
I'm with you, Doc. I think that has to be dated. This has to be.
Oh yeah, but what if there's no other will? Then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but what if? Yeah, but by dating it would prove. I mean, it would set in stone that that's.
Do you notice he's not as yellow? Is that just me, or not as orange?
Yeah, I don't.
6 to 9 on 630 KHOW, Denver's talk station.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Genesis totalexteriors.com. Remember these people for your needs when it comes to outdoor exteriors of your home for all of your storm damage. GenesisTotalExteriors.com. And speaking of that, we have an insurance guy on, Brian Burns from Compass Insurance Group. And Brian, it's really important to talk about this. And this is cancellations, because people are getting canceled all over. And I had a whole discussion on insurance. I'm not going to repeat right now, but I have my own thoughts on the industry. But when usually can you almost count on being canceled? We had Deputy Chopper, who works with us, say that he had 2 roofs. Did he say in 3 years? Yeah, 2 roofs. He was canceled because of hail damage. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see. Here's the problem. There's not a steadfast rule. So people will call me and say, hey, you know, I might have some hail damage. And especially whenever I see they've had a claim in the last couple of years, I'll tell them, let's be cautious. Let's make sure it's worth filing the claim before you do it, because they could be non-renewed. But I've had plenty of people that have had 2 hail losses in the last. It's a 5-year window, by the way. I know you said 3, and 3 is a factor in auto policies a lot of time, but in homes, I don't know a carrier that doesn't look at a 5-year loss history. So in the last 5 years, if you've had 2 losses, if you were to come to me for new business, it'd be difficult to find a preferred carrier that would take you. But if you've had 3, I think you're pretty confident. 3 losses in 5 years, you should be pretty confident you'd probably be non-renewed. But even that's not a steadfast rule.
So it depends on the company.
Yeah, and yeah, how have they been? What they filed with the Department of Insurance for that state. And then it's up to, sometimes things slip through. In all honesty, I had someone that they were going to non-renew because they had they had 3 losses, and 2 of them were water losses, which were even considered insurance terms even worse than hail losses, of course. And they were set to non-renew and forgot to actually get the non-renewal sent out to the customer, so they had to renew. So at this point, he's renewed.
Yeah, but when they have to renew, do they have to renew at the same premium?
Well, they've already sent out the renewal, so whatever the renewal was, the renewal is already done. So they're stuck for a year.
So okay, so if you're canceled, let's say Deputy Chopper, he had 2 roofs in 3 years. That's just the way it is. He had 2 roofs.
Yeah.
Okay, so he had 2 roofs, I guess, in 5 years, as you put it. But so
right.
He's canceled now. So is there an appeal process? And have you ever heard of people being reinstated?
Not for that kind of reason. I mean, the appeal process would come into play if let's say they're canceling because of a reason that you can prove has been fixed. In other words, they're saying that there's damage to your siding and you didn't get it fixed, and you can go back and appeal the non-renewal and say, no, we did get it fixed. Here's pictures, that kind of thing. But underwriting experience, no, you're not going to have there's not an appeal.
So let's put it this way. If an insurance company, let's put it this way then. If insurance companies wanted to insure you and take premiums from you for 20 years,
yep.
And then they decided on their own that if you have 1 claim, they're canceling you. Would they be allowed to do that? Of course they would, is what you're saying.
Yeah, no, you can make a non-renewal. They have the right to non-renew. They can't cancel midterm, of course.
No, but it seems to me a bit, that's where the immoral thing comes in. It seems to me crazy that a company could literally collect from you for 20 years and cancel you with 1 loss if they wanted to. And again,
I mean, I haven't seen anything like that.
No, of course not. You've seen 2 losses.
Yeah, I have seen 2 losses.
Yeah, 2 losses. Okay. So, you're insured for 20 years, you get 2 losses and you're gone. Now, if you do the math.
Here, let me do the flip side of that, though, Tom. I have dealt with people that have 4 losses that were 7 years ago, and they've got the best rate they could possibly get out there. They're getting charged like someone that hadn't had loss in 20 years. So because it's only a 5-year loss experience. That's where they're looking at. So whenever people say, I haven't had a loss in 20 years, I just had these 2 in the last 5. I get it, but you could have had 5 10 years ago, and you're not being charged for it.
Okay.
So it goes both ways. It is a 5-year, loss period that they're looking at.
Is that 5 loss? Is that 5 year statutory?
That's what everybody uses. I don't know about statutory. I don't know the answer
So
to
we
that.
talked about mutual companies. Who are the big mutual companies that you represent?
So Nationwide, Safeco is owned by Liberty Mutual. Acuity is a mutual. I'm trying to think through who else is a mutual company. Back to that conversation. Sometimes you can see mutual companies, honestly, having higher rates at times just because their sole basis of income is from the policyholders. They can't raise capital through, putting it out to a market.
Right. That's right. They probably could issue bonds, just not equity stocks, right?
Yeah, I don't know about the bonds. You might be right, but I know they can't do equity stock, obviously. So
right.
I think sometimes it's a more conservative approach, which isn't bad. I'm just telling you it can go both ways, where you can also
All right.
see where
So,
those companies can become
mutual companies don't necessarily
profitable.
equate to better companies for coverage or for rates, is what you're saying. And that's just, it's odd to me, but that's the way it is, right? It's just very odd to me that that's the way it is. So I don't know what we do, Brian. I've always said it's a terrible place we're in right now. And you've said, hold on 1 second, I'll finish up. Insurance is one of the biggest things we spend money on, folks.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by
I don't know what that was.
Were you able to come back, John?
Jeremy works for him, right, Tom?
Yeah.
John?
Yes.
So while you're talking, can I jump in and ask him a question?
Yes, of course you can.
He actually, company helped me out. So.
All right, I'll call him.
John!
He says, you weren't there. I have other things going on. Cancel me for today. Okay.
Go, John Fuller. It's all you.
I'm so glad I'll get
Hold
to
on,
play
guys.
golf this weekend.
He's really mad
I
at
said
me,
it's going to be in
and
the upper
it's not my
70s,
fault.
low 80s.
Hold on.
Perfect golf weather. As opposed to last weekend.
Really isn't my fault.
So John Fuller is a personal injury attorney, and when we talk about insurance, John always recommends MedPay insurance. He says, that is an insurance that pays no matter whose fault it is, and they pay right away, and then they can't subrogate against it. He also recommends you get underinsured and uninsured motorist coverage. And that's because John looks to collect for you at the time of an accident. And when that happens, he really wants to make sure you have sources that can pay you. John Fuller also has all kinds of recommendations on what you do immediately following an accident so you don't lose your rights. And that's why it is very important that you call him at the first sight of an accident where you've been injured. Now, here's the deal. You don't have to start a lawsuit right away, but you can at least get free legal advice. And then if he does represent you, it's on a percentage fee basis. And also, you can never have it out of pocket, and he will help negotiate expenses at the end. So that's myaccidentlawyer.co, 303-597-4500. 303-597-4500. Grossman Wellness is a place that I go to because I believe in wellness, and I believe you don't just chase after illness, but you try to keep yourself proactively looking for health. And that's what GrossmanWellness.com does. They have models where you pay a few $100 a month. You get all of your blood work every 3 months. Yeah. You also get your supplements and prescription drugs, and it's all in one neat package. And it is for proactive people, for people who want to stay on top of their health, and it's well worth it. GrossmanWellness.com. Red Rocks Roof and Solar is a place to go if you especially want a commercial system. Now, they do residential. Of course, they're wonderful. But let me tell you, with commercial systems, they have some systems that'll blow your mind. They will get it paid for all by grants and federal tax credits. And listen to this. In addition to that, you can actually resell power and make money. That's called the REAP grant that can help you pay for that for commercial systems. And, of course, you can also call them about residential. RedRocksRS.com, 303-704-2449. What were you going to ask him? We can
I was going to ask him about my rental house.
What about it?
I've made payments for 15 years with State Farm, and they're canceling me. And actually, I had Jeremy come out, and they represent 8 companies. They found a company. I just wanted to know the reason why they're, like you said.
But you had no claims?
No fucking claims.
Okay.
You were right. I'm paid in for 15 years, no claim, and they're canceling me because they say the roof's old. But there's no leaks.
Oh, wait a minute. So they wanted you to redo your roof?
They want me to redo the roof, but Tom, I'm not going to spend $18,000 to do the roof because there's nothing wrong with it, in my opinion.
I read a story about a woman who won a jackpot at a casino, a couple $100,000. They didn't want to pay her because they said she was trespassed 10 years ago, but she'd been playing there for 10 years.
They took her money for 10 years. Yeah.
They let her play, and then
Now
when
she hits it big.
you were trespassed. Well, why wasn't I trespassed for all those 9 years afterwards?
She should sue them.
She is suing them.
What casino is this?
I don't know. It's not a famous.
Is it up on the hill?
What?
Is it up in?
Oh no, I think it's in Nevada.
Oh, yeah. I don't have to bring it up, Tom, if you don't think it's right.
No. I mean,
I'm just curious. What's their logic in that? And I'll just say I wanted to just bring up the point that yeah, the roof's old, but there's nothing wrong with it. I got a 20-year-old car, and there's nothing wrong. Still runs.
I've been lucky so far. I've never had to make a homeowner's claim.
I haven't either. I've been a loyal customer with this fucking State Farm.
Well, Tom will say they don't care about loyalty.
You know what, Doc? You're absolutely fucking right.
Comedian Tim Meadows is coming to Comedy Works South. He'll be on the show, and you'll have a chance to win tickets. Wednesday at 2 on 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK. Brian Burns, Compass Insurance. I have another quick question for you, Brian. So you say, when companies get lost, have losses, they raise rates or cancel people and all of that. What happens when they no longer have losses? Do rates ever go down, ever?
Yeah, absolutely. There was a period of time, and it's really not individualized, I shouldn't say that. It's more the area. So when Colorado years ago was not experiencing quite the hail that it is now, it was a very profitable state. And we were seeing rates at renewal. We were calling people and letting them know, guess what? Your rates are going down 20%.
No, that's wonderful, actually. Okay. Deputy Bo says his State Farm was, we're out of time almost, it was canceled after 15 years for no reason. And people are doing that?
If it's maybe a fire score issue, I'm seeing that.
It was an old roof, I think.
It's old roof, but your company was able to come through with the company to insure me.
You know, you guys came through, but this is just, we're going to re-examine this on another show.
Follow Tom Martino at Real Tom Martino and stay connected with all of us at 630 KHOW, KHOW.com, and on the iHeartRadio app. This is Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
I'm consumer advocate Tom Martino, and there's only one carpet cleaner I'll have in my home, Zero Res, because the others leave chemicals and dirt-attracting residue behind. Safe for kids, pets, and you. Now 3 rooms starting at $109, plus tile and grout, upholstery, and just about any surface in your home. Now with cleaning, you get 2 tickets to the Renaissance Festival while supplies last. Get Zero Resified. 303-471-5150. ZeroResDenver.com. 471-5150.
This is Jay with Excel Roofing. If you have hail damage, call 303-761-6400. We're the best roofing company in Denver. If you would like to work for the best roofing company, you should call me. We need more project managers. If you're organized, not afraid to walk on roofs, and a people person, call me. 303-761-6400. ExcelRoofing.com.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt US Kids, and the Ad Council.
KRFX HD2 Denver.
KHOW Denver, an iHeartRadio station. The exclusive audio home of NBC's coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympics.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. At an outside event in Milwaukee, Donald Trump's running mate, Senator J.D. Vance, offering a hint of his speech tonight at the Republican National Convention.
We're going to get out there and try to fire up the crowd.